Okay, to feeling freedom. How can we feel freedom? What could we do to get that feeling that I think we all deep down we seek it, we search for it, we hunt for it, we look for it everywhere and in anything that we do. And yet it's always right in front of us, yet it seems so far away, almost as if it's out of our grasp. And we can't conceptualize or understand or piece together why it always escapes us. Could there be things in this world that take that away from us? Could it be mostly us and how we react to things? Or could it be that there's actual set variables in play all around us that we haven't even pieced together could be what are stopping us, despite anything else that might be trying to? That's a lot. So today, today we're talking about freedom. So what better way than to begin by doing all the things that let us feel that way? So first of all, I'm not sitting down yet. Why would I not do that? Why would I not sit down? It's actually not that comfortable. Why would I choose to do that? Why would I choose to start my stream, which, by the way, guys, I started late. I gave myself more time today, and I actually started it late. Why does that not bother me? Should it? Does it bother you? Would it have bothered you? Why would I choose intentionally to do that? Why was I calm? Could removing a time requirement be one of the secrets to everything? What if the feel, the need to sitting down, to not making a mistake, was actually what prevents all of us from ever deviating or responding differently? So we always feel the same way. But what could make us do that? Well, something else, right? Others. They have to place it upon us. So what if someone came by right now and told me, hey, you have to do your stream sitting down and you can't make any loud noises? To that I say, what if we made an intentional mistake? You guys ready to join me and interrupt? Grab 2 utensils, 2 tools right now. I'm going to take a bite of my food that's boiling hot. I warmed it up way too much intentionally. So grab 2 things around you. Doesn't matter what they are, okay? The whole point is you want to be able to clank one, clanker's bay, against another thing. That's all you are intentionally looking to do. So I'll give you guys 30 seconds. If you don't have something, just use whatever's around you. Turns out, even though it was boiling just a few minutes ago, now that I waited, so I gave myself time. There was no time limit. There was no requirement. There was no need to take a bite right away. Now it was actually perfect. Could there be something there, guys? Okay. You guys ready? What did you guys get? On the count of 3. Here we do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I got a pot and a measuring cup. Let's begin. There's a good chance. Good morning. Is it morning? Good morning. It is for me. There's a good chance that many people, if not everyone who tuned in that doesn't already know me, isn't aware of how I do things, why I do things. There's a really good chance that everyone who tuned in and saw that segment, just hit X on the stream or the video. That's quite a real possibility, guys. Yet why didn't it stop me? Why would it actually excite me? Why would it make me be like, hey, you know what? Well, now I'm free. Now I can do anything. At no point am I saying I should, but you guys understand? Now I can do anything. That's freedom. That's the feeling that we're all seeking. That means that we can just perform. We move away from execution. But now we can just be relaxed. Now we can just be calm. Now we can just be ourselves. And if things don't go amazingly, we understand that something happened to make that, because otherwise it's just going to go. And if it doesn't turn out any specific way, it doesn't matter, because we're not seeking a specific way. We have a few things around us to just keep us going. But do you guys understand? At no point are they a necessity anymore. Because if anything happens that presents itself, that causes a disruption at any point, we can deviate. We can respond freely. We can choose how we respond, because there's nothing that is forcing us to respond a specific way or to do something a specific way. That is what freedom is, guys. People are like, that's not possible. Like, how can someone become like that? How can you reach that state? Are there consequences to it? Yeah, there's a lot. There's many. But the benefits far outweigh the consequences. And there's one thing that I still haven't pieced together on how to solve. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I hope, but here I'm saying I hope, but at no point do I need to get the answer by the end of this stream. I'm going to be exploring with all of you live. I might not get the answer. And you know what? That's okay. That means that we'll just try again another day to figure this out. So how can I do all this stuff and not be worried about the time, not be worried about the need, not be worried about a requirement, not be worried that so many people stop watching because of my antics? How can that be, guys? They're like, well, it's just, most of you, do you guys even just hear how I was starting to phrase things, how I was walking? You start seeking a justification, something that could explain why I'm like, yeah, that's not how it actually could be, guys. This is just like a one-time exception. This is an outlier. Well, let's entertain that for a little bit. What if it was an outlier? What if I am an outlier? What if, like, this can happen in anything, guys? Think about it, like at work, at your own creations, your own designs, anything. Sometimes there's one thing that is an outlier, and usually for the better. It's different. Like, everyone can tell that something was different here. Like, maybe a better result, because you guys are still tied to, I'm going to full screen it. You guys are tied to a certain requirement, a certain grade, a certain reward. Like, that's a possibility. All those things are real, guys. Like, what is it for all of you? What is it? You know what? We're actually going to not full screen it. It's cool. It's a little different. So we always seek to replicate something that we thought was good. And most of us get trapped in thinking that we base it off of something external. Well, the feedback from others, the grades that others gave. Maybe someone said that it was good. Maybe, like, all those things are real, guys, okay? And until we each and every single one of us break that, well, we're trapped by it. So, outliers. Like, how's it possible that he can operate this way? Or how is it possible that this one thing didn't follow the norms, but everything else did? And most of us try to decipher it through, we might hire analysts, we might try to do consultations, we might try to talk to people who we view as experts. You guys see, like, we're always looking toward others, 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 others. guidance, reliance. And could that actually be why we can never reach it again? What if I'm going to blow you guys' mind right here, but what if the only reason why that outlier, why anything in your life, think about it, could be, for most of you, it's going to be at work, okay? Or a school project, but something personal that you did at any point throughout your entire life. It turned out the way you wanted the result, okay? Because I'm saying that that's not actually the main focus, but for a lot of you, you're still at that level, and that's okay. You're doing the climb, you're progressing, and that's perfect. Right? You base it off of what other people tell you is the most important result. But still, the example is pertinent, because if I tell you the most important thing is doing a 5-hour stream, it's like, well, I can't get to 5 hours. I keep getting close, but I can't. The one time you did, that's what you want to analyze. Like, what was it that got me there? And we always try to attribute it to so many things, trying to figure out how to recreate it, and we just can't. And once in a while, maybe we get closer, maybe once in a while we do surpass it. But again, we just can't pinpoint what it is that let us get there. Then many of you just know that, like, sometimes I just feel like I can do. Sometimes I just feel like I'm on fire. Like, I don't know, just everything's working out. And I'm telling all of you, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. You're rolling the dice. You're just hoping that this time the RNG, which is a random number generator, like thing, you just press a random button, like, randomize what's going to happen. Okay, I won today. That's how most of you operate. You get lucky. It's just 1 + 2 + 3 happen, and a hot girl walked by you and said, "Hey, you're looking handsome today. I like what you do with your hair." Clearly shows that you have faith in yourself and you're willing to change and disrupt things. It's awesome. I'm like, thank you. And you didn't realize that that might have been what gave you enough belief to do. But then there was something else there, guys. There was something else that happened that let us reach our success, whatever it is, whatever it was. I call that, it's freedom. Our best creations happen when all of us are free. And creations, some of you might not be at the point where you're creating yet. So to you, I just think about like a performance, okay? And anything that you do, like, why did it happen then? And I'm telling you, it's freedom. Most of you reach that when you find alignment. So think about, like, you're surrounded by people on a sports team, or like at work or at school, or maybe family. Like, you can't do it with your family, do it with other people, because the people align with you. They agree with you. They see things in the same light. They support you. You guys understand? So when you guys get those variables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you feel free. But you guys don't understand that that's actually what it is. It's freedom. You feel free. You're like, I feel like I can be myself. But really, it's not you being yourself. It's just freedom. We talk about being yourself in other ones. So I'm telling you guys, it's not what it is. It's actually freedom. Because since the people align with you and they understand you, and what ends up happening is that we don't feel the time pressures anymore. Because what you're going to realize is that when those things happen, that people become understanding. I'm like, hey, it's okay if something happens. They give you time. When we align with people, I challenge all of you to explore this. When we align with people, we give people time. When we align with people, we remove need from them. At first, until something else presents itself and starts getting installed, making us care about external, making us care about competition, making us care about numbers, making us care about responding to negatives, to fear, to darkness, to problems. So when that happens, even if we're aligned with people, when things get presented and we're like, oh my gosh, it's a reminder of my past, like something bad, something dark, something sad, now we can't deviate anymore. Now we the way we respond, the way we react is out of a must, out of a necessity. It's not anymore by choice. So think about it like this, guys. I'm taking a little bit of risk here, but I think you guys will understand. Think about it like I'm going to use a video game for you guys. Think of it like a job. Like, hey, I need you guys to show up at 3:30 today for what I call a raid in a video game. But think of it for you guys is like we're an organization, we're a group, we're a guild, 25 people. I'm like, if you show up at this hour, at this time, then we're going to do an attempt at something. So for most of you, it's like that's when you guys need to show up at work. For myself, that was when I needed to show up to fight internet dragons in a video game with a group of people that all align. We enjoy this game. We enjoy progression. We enjoy figuring things out. We enjoy exploring. We enjoy healing. We enjoy strategy stuff, whatever, right? And that's essentially what it is for most of you guys. Okay. So what if normally I'm like, hey, it's okay, guys, if you're a little late, it's not a problem. Don't worry, we can wait. I know you guys are gonna show up. It's cool. There's no issues whatsoever. None. Doesn't matter if you're the best performer. Doesn't matter if you're just someone reliable. I just don't care, right? I'm like, I know we're having fun, exploring, we're making progress every day, we're learning new every day. What's the problem? Well, suddenly, between from one day to the next, we start getting some success. We start getting some success, and now other voices start presenting themselves. They're like, well, you guys are the best on like in your region, but are you the best in on the server, or are you the best in the US? Are you the best in the world? Are you the best in this country? Like, how do you guys compare to others? And they're like, oh well, let's see. Actually, I'm like, oh, we're rank 50 in the US and rank 100 in the world. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Out of let's say like 50,000. Like, wow, that's pretty good. I didn't know we were doing so well. And someone's like, well, can we go good for 49 today and 99? Like, can we keep progressing even further? Wow, I didn't realize we were good, guys. So you see, like we started basing it off of external feedback. So suddenly, I'm like, but what we end up finding out through information is that our competitors, the other people who are like number 49 to number 1, they actually play the game more, or they work more, or something like that. They play more. They also do other things outside of our normal play session or our normal work hours that help them even complete things faster, because at the end of the day, the ranking in this case, at least in the video game, was based on speed. Who could be the first one? It wasn't who got the best success. So in that game, they called it kills, right? Like a victory. So we didn't grade based on like the performance itself, right? Like, was it flawless? Who had the best strategy? Now, no one cares about that. It's about a simple arbitrary metric that someone else decided, which was, hey, it's actually about speed. Why couldn't it have been like, hey, we did it with less? We accomplished with at a much higher level of challenge. We did the more challenging strategy. Why does that not put us on first? Nope, it's about who got it first. Oh, okay. So you guys see now there's a time requirement. Now there's time. Time is present. Time is forcing us to feel differently. Because, well, if we slow down, or if I allow you to just show up whenever you want or be a little late, well, we might actually be dropped from ranking 50 to 51. And how are we ever going to compete against 49 and below? They don't have that. Do you understand? I mean, that's what we think at least. They don't allow anyone to show up late, because that's what I've heard, that if they show up late, they get punished. They lose their spot, and someone else who actually cares and wants to put an effort will get the spot. You're like, oh my gosh, like no wonder we can't get higher than 50, because we are so lax about that. We let them get away with these things. Well, we need to change that. Okay, let's do that. So I talked with before I had like this universal like leadership position, strategy approach where I just kind of like let everyone lead together, even though when we were taking first steps, I always was the first one, and I was the final voice of reason, but I let everyone lead it together. But then all of a sudden, now when we were racing, right? When we were competing, when we were trying, I'm like, now it's go time. My way or no way. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, how did this happen? I'm like, we're trying to get ranked number 1, guys. If you don't value our organization anymore, our guild, then get out of here. We'll find someone else that will put in more time, that will show up early. Okay. So that changed. All of a sudden, I start talking more to other what I call guild leaders. So let's say for you guys, think about like other executives, other business leaders. But in anything, in any industry, guys, that you guys operate in, anything that you're trying to do. And it's like, well, what do you do? Like, how do you guys? I feel like we really struggle on encounters or challenges that are about numbers, about like optimal performance, like maximizing the most of each of one of our uh, raiders, or in your guys' case, think like employees or workers. I'm like, they don't do enough damage. Like since when you're trying to race to be the number 1, you do things with less because you don't have enough time to like develop all the skill set and get better tools and all this stuff like that. So you naturally are doing things what I call in that game under gear. Think of it like in life. It's like, well, hey, I just don't have as much experience or knowledge yet. I just haven't learned all the situations yet. But that I still am being presented with the same requirements I need to do all this. Some places might give you a little bit of a ramp up. But I'm telling you guys, I'm just like, how can I get my raiders to do more damage, do more DPS is what I call it. Like maximize their class, their skill, their performance. And I start talking to the others, and I'm like, oh yeah, if they don't have all these extra little things to use to maximize, then we just get rid of them. We find someone else. Like you. That's why we're a top guild. That's why we're because they need to go play probably like an extra 2-3 hours a night to get like these consumables that up their damage, to get these bonuses that up their benefits and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, we don't cover that, but we expect that from them. They need to do that. Okay. All right. You know what? This is someone from like the rank 23 guild. Maybe they were called Premonition or something. I'm like, that's awesome. Let's apply all that. Like that sounds great. But you know what? I I care a little bit more about my people. They were a little cold. I didn't like that part. That was the only part that I didn't really align with them. I treat my people as friends. So you know what? I am going to cover those extra things for them. I'm going to cover that for them because you know what? I want to help them out. Okay. So all of a sudden, we get everyone together, and I'm like, all right, guys, this is the game plan so that we can go from rank 50 to where, let's see what we can achieve. This is something that the the top 23 guild does. So you guys know that you know of them. They do great. So we should be paying attention to this. So these are the changes that we're going to implement. This is what I need from all of you. But it starts tomorrow. And here we go. Some people are excited. They're like, finally, those deadweight players are going to get kicked out of the guild. They were holding us back from the beginning. Can't believe it. I'm like, but wait, we are 50 out of 50,000. What do you mean dead weight? What do you mean? Like, what? Whoa, but no, someone said that. Oh, okay. Someone else is like, yes, I've been doing all these things from the beginning. It's been so frustrating watching everyone else around me not do this. And we've been wasting time and losing on encounters and having to repeat things needlessly because they don't do these things. And no one listens to me. They only listen to our leaders. So I'm so glad that our leader finally is saying these things. These people are excited because they now think their ranking is going to improve, that everything's going to be better. Yet, no one really talks. All of a sudden, before this, a week before this, guys, when the guild or the organization did an attempt at whatever challenge that they were trying to overcome, people laughed. People smiled. Some people got frustrated, as you could hear. There was those people that had those expectations, that thought other people were less than them because they didn't do it their way. Those people were always loud and talking, but do you understand? It was balanced before. But then those people got put on a pedestal and they almost took over. And, well, why wouldn't you follow the best, right? Why wouldn't you follow the ones who are carrying or doing the numbers or performing? So there was an inverse of like what I call freedom, fun. All of a sudden, people started getting quiet. Not as many people were talking anymore. And if they did, you could hear it in their voice, their passion, their feel. Something had changed. And the leaders can't understand it. The people who demand more from their fellow guild members or co-workers are like, what is going on? Like, performance is actually going down for most. There's some exceptions. Some aren't performing, but in general, like, the vibe is different. People aren't having as much fun. It seems like everyone's like walking on mighty thin ice. It's just like everything has changed and they don't really understand. They're like, we were just trying to make things better. We were just trying to optimize. We were just trying to climb the rank. I thought, isn't that what everyone wanted? Didn't we just all want to get like more numbers and perform better and get earlier, faster kills and all this stuff like that in this game, in this video game, in this guild, in this organization? Like, what happened, guys? Wait, do you guys remember that 2-3 weeks before this guild, this organization, didn't even know what rank they were? They didn't even know what rank they were. Do you guys understand how this is done? That example, that story, is what I call the loss of freedom. And most of us don't understand why that affects everything: enjoyment, progression, exploration, just in general, the results. Like, it just seems like things become almost stale, gray and drab. Not gray for progression, just gray as in no color. There's no life in it. There's no soul anymore. It's just, it becomes about exclusively the end result. And I'm not saying that was stuff. It just becomes about the end result, about a reward. There's no more enjoyment in anything. It's because there is a loss of freedom. And there's even more to that, but I'm trying to explain it right now, just at a level that all of you can understand, because that's where you guys are at currently in your life. Okay? You guys are still playing that version of the game, and that's okay. We all are doing a climb, and we're going to get there. So that, if that makes sense to you, it's awesome. Do you guys get it? That's exactly how it should be. So That is the reason why when you guys do anything, your performance is different. Why you don't feel safe, why you don't feel calm, why you don't feel relaxed. And it could be anything, right? It could be something new that you're trying. It could be something you've already done before. It could be when you're exploring for the first time. You never feel like you explore, and you finally try, and you don't feel you don't feel good. Or when you're designing something, and it's like there's no passion, there's no belief, and you just can't understand why. You're like, I don't know. This topic isn't really for me. And I'm telling you, if you designed under me, you would have passion and belief and faith with every single topic. And even the ones that aren't the things that you think are like, oh, this is the cool one, these are something I'm really looking forward to, you still perform and deliver something absolutely amazing. And everyone else is just like, how is this possible? How can he get all of them to do that? It's because they're free. It's because we made them feel free. The moment we don't feel free anymore is when everything changes. And everything in our life, just so you all understand, the moment we don't feel free, that's what all of you are seeking from day one, freedom. Because I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter what it is. If I make you feel free, no punishment, no requirements, no time, no need, you can deviate, you can respond and react, whatever. Now, it's not saying that you should intentionally, as things present, keep choosing the worst reactions and responses that have been installed in you from day one, right? Because then you're not free. Do you guys get it? That means that something else is controlling you. I'm saying, if I make you feel free and you're healed and you know how to deviate and respond accordingly by choice and not out of a must, I'm telling each and every one of you that it doesn't matter what you're trying. It doesn't matter what you're going to do. You're going to perform at an extremely high level. You're going to have fun. You're going to feel safe. And things are just going to move along. Storylines are going to progress naturally. Some of them you might be like, actually, yeah, no, not this path. We'll go a different path. We'll try something different. And that's not only just normal, but it's exploration. Do you guys get it? Because you're trying things. Now all of you can just try. Now all of you can be like, well, let's see this one. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. And you're like, oh wow, yeah, no, I'm not really someone who likes crafting and tinkering in the video games as much. But actually, let's try it this one time. Like, yeah, still no. But oh, that you can like explore that path, and you're like, that's interesting. Wow, they created a whole like community for that path. I'm like, wow, that's really cool, actually. And you're like, wait, I can't believe I'm even talking like this. I never was like this before. Why? It just this must be just something's going on right now that just makes me feel better or something. So you guys don't know what to attribute it to. You guys can't pinpoint what it is. And I'm saying that something made you feel free. And all of you are seeking it because 99.9% of the world today is not free. I'm saying for most of us, if not all of us, it's because of mental. But the majority of you are still operating on the overt physical world. You're not free even there because of people around you having installed and created time limits, requirements that you need to do something, and you guys can never deviate. You have to react and respond a certain way. And if you ever try to deviate, then based on negatives from your past, so it could even be just a fear event that they created or some kind of punishment, and just remind you of it. And then you guys always respond the same way every single time. So it means there's no more freedom. Just think about it like this, guys. If I ask you, if I'm trying to get you to design something new, like let's say you're a developer for like a video game or a movie or a book or some kind of art thing, a drawing or whatever. And I'm like, hey, can you guys design something? But these are the limits. It has to be done by this Friday. It has to have this. It can't be difficult. We need new people to enjoy it. They cannot fail more than once because we want them to just move along and reach the next thing in the progress. Like, well, how do I know if it's too difficult then? I'm like, well, just base it off the past. What did we do last time that people complained about? Like, oh, okay. Something gets slapped together and released. And it does okay. It actually gets a lot of praise from a certain crowd of people who just want fast wins, who just care about also the end result or like the ranking or the numbers or the money reward. But other people are just like, that's just not as fun. It's not as well as design. You see that there one group of people are viewing it as from like a designer, and the other one are viewing it from a consumer. So I call these are the people that get baited down a path of consumption. They get baited down a path of consumption and of time limits. I mean, just think about everything in our life, guys. Look around you. Just look around in your own place. Even I am like, whoa, like I know old version of me, like, yeah, I got baited to down a path of consumption, comparison about how fast, when am I gonna get it? Like always needless comparison. It just it those are the people who just always want to win. I'm telling you guys, you can just test it. Any game that has um, competition, or you can play against other players, or anything. And there's always some people that just want to win. They're like, I'm really, and people think that that's a good thing. I'm like, it's really bad. You want to know why? Because it indicates that those people are enslaved. They're not free at all. At all. At all. Because it forces them to use, think of it like in a card game, it forces them to use the best cards. There might be a million cards, and yet they're only going to use the top 30. I'm like, why? Why not explore all the rest? I'm like, well, you enjoy losing? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm not playing it to lose. I'm not playing it to win. I'm exploring. I'm free. It doesn't matter if I win or lose. Because there's other reasons why I'm doing it. And if I know why, do you guys understand? If you know why I didn't choose the best cards, I'm trying new ones out and I get completely destroyed by the best cards. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. Oh, the same best cards again. There they are. And you just lose and you're going to feel a little weird. You guys get it? That's when you start losing some freedom because they make you feel like, well, if you had that, if you had that. And I'm telling all of you, I'm just like, well, if I know why I did it, then what's the problem? I'm calm. What you guys are going to realize is if you get to the point where there's no need for you to win, right? That's just the story outcome. There's no need for you to win. There's no time limit. Like, well, I need to become the best by this time limit. That means that there's no more requirements, guys. I'm not saying that it doesn't feel good to win because in many ways it's like telling you, hey, your strategies work. That's something that is always going to be valuable for every single person. But could you have learned if your strategies work regardless, but be like, oh, they just got completely countered? That the concept was sound, the idea, the path was great, but it got completely destroyed by that one play. I'm like, oh man. Oh well. I got what I wanted from that. I saw what I wanted. I got a mental reset. I got a focus change. That was awesome. People are like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I'm free. I'm relaxed. I'm calm. I can just execute. I can just do. because I'm not worried. There's no severity to anything. People are like, it's not possible. I'm like, it is. Why would it not be possible, guys? Because something else prevents that. The level 1 is other people, external. You guys understand? The people around you are going to prevent that. If you're playing in the physical game still of this world, that's what most of you are. You guys haven't graduated from that. You're stuck there. It's just that simple, guys. That's elementary school. It really is. I'm not diminishing you to attack you. I'm just wanting you guys to realize if you're still held back by that, you're still in elementary school. I thought you guys already graduated high school or college. What happened? How are you guys stuck there? Think about it. You're not free. If someone else is putting a requirement on you from time or limits, I'm saying even suggesting on how to design it and craft something is already extremely dangerous, and there should be red flags, alarm bells going off. But if they start telling you, this is the time, these are the needs, then you're not free. You're doomed. And until you break all of that, essentially what I'm saying, guys, is when that happens, when that presents itself, you should do what we did at the beginning of this video and this stream, which is intentionally mess up. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll design something extremely mediocre then, because what's the point? Then you're going to get fired. I'm like, well, then why are you doing there? Well, then we're going to quit, make you lose your spot in the guild. Then I do. That's not easy for most of you. I'm saying that's the price of freedom. And we're going to talk about that in depth because there is a price of freedom. But that's a way to conceptualize it on a much more basic level. All right. So that was just the intro. Told to a story that I hope can resonate with all of you. We're building up, right? I wanted to start a little more grounded at first because this one is going to get quite complex. It is already complex, but it gets more complex once we move away from the world that all of you can just understand, that you experience every single day. Because really what it is it's mental. The whole game is mental, all right? It has nothing to do with the outside, with the external. The only what it is that our creations, our designs, our results of how we walk and what we do, but it's more so in our creations, indicates how free we were. Just so you guys know, I can just through what people do, what people say, and what people create, I can now, I would say with 99.9% success, to tell not only their inclination, if they're dark or light, but also how free they are. I'm saying the majority of people aren't free, but out of the people who are kind of breaking free, I can still tell the levels of it. And you can, I can just experience anything. And I can tell you guys, I know, I'm like, wow, you can tell at this point, there was something that changed. The freedom changed. Something changed in this area right here. Oh, here now it changed again. And I'm telling you, once you understand this knowledge, you can consume anything and you will be able to identify it. So, I'm going to warm up my coffee and then we're going to get started. Let's do this. All righty, let's do this. Wait, good morning, guys. Why am I not standing this time? We are going to start with an intro. I'm going back to something that a little bit more of an ideal path. The last time I did this, I intentionally fought everything that I knew was ideal, the best path that I know works for me. And I didn't do everything this time, but I did a lot. I did a lot more of the things that I know take me to freedom, that protect me, that make me feel positive, that make me believe, that make me be shielded so that I could execute in the level that I know. Yet I'm telling all of you, that's not enough. Because what all those things do, because that's what, to put it simply, that is what all of us tend to get focused on. We think that it's the ideal paths that we walk that are actually what allow us to feel that way so that we execute and perform that way. Sort of the end result, the delivery, the whatever ends up happening is what we are trying to recreate. But we are like, I did everything and it still didn't happen. Like, I don't understand what it was. And I'm like, it's not like those things allow us to temporarily, for most of you guys, what it is if you do the ideal path that you've identified, what they do is they get you on a positive path. They make you on a path of belief, which temporarily shields you, protects you. So that means if anything bad gets presented, or if like a mistake happens or something occurs, you can choose to still respond and react, not by must, but by choice, which I'm telling you is something that we need to get to regardless of a positive path, regardless if we were shielded, because if we can only do so when we're shielded, you guys see, that's why all of you get stuck. That's why you guys try to create optimal. That's why you guys try to always do those things. And you think that's what it is. I'm like, well, okay, well, I got 95% of the way today. This time, what more can I add in that's a little bit more optimal to get there? Maybe if I just warmed up my coffee another 5 seconds. You guys see, like you guys start focusing on those things to try to get that feeling like, well, why is it that I felt safe and I performed better then? And you think it's that. I'm like, and I'm saying it's not. Those things are important. Those things protect us from the temporary interrupts that occur. They shield us from the severity of them. Because otherwise, I'm like, oh, if someone like walked by and threw like water in my face right, well, now I just drink it. But what if I wasn't on a positive path, guys? If I wasn't shielded, I would get, do you guys understand? I would be extremely furious right now. Like, you ruined my stream. But for many of you, even if you are shielded, you would still choose to not react that way. Maybe you'd be like, I'm gonna talk to them later. Oh, this is gonna be okay. I'm lucky that I'm streaming right now. I'm like, what? Nothing. Anyway, so where were we? And you see, like it broke their shield because they're not fully healed. If you're not fully healed, then things actually are severe. Most 99.9% of you today in this world are not healed. So it means that if they just remind you or do things that create approximations or start you on a path of the past that have hurt you, then if you don't have a really powerful temporary shield, you guys break. And you might, but they see the temporary shield prevented the immediate reaction. But you are going to now go on a path of revenge and darkness later. But in the moment, you don't do anything. That's most of you guys. That's why you guys keep seeking optimal or keep searching for more money or all those things, because it broke your temporary shield, but you're not healed. So that means the consequences are still going to happen. This is how they do it for all of you. And for most of you, when that happens, when your temporary shield breaks, because you guys attach it then to those ideal externals. Remember what I said in the example out here? Like for many of you, it's like, well, what's your ranking? What's your money? Did you win? So if something stopped you from getting that, you understand that now what your response is to that is no longer by choice. You're not free. Since you guys aren't healed, you're not free anymore to choose either. Now, you guys are going to put in time limits. You're going to put in requirements. You're going to put in, hey, I need to have the best things. I need to do these things. And what did I say, guys, during that example, that story? Is that those are the things that actually are what prevent freedom. So now they bait all of you into start seeking those ideal things that solve the time issues, that solve the needs, that solve the requirements, so that now you think that you're going to be, but so you install those things so that it doesn't happen again. You guys get it? It's like, well, how could I prevent someone from getting close to me and throwing water on me? If I do that, well, then I will never have issues again. You see, they bait all of you through, because since you're not healed, it's severe. It breaks your temporary shield, right? You guys look for optimal. And then you're like, well, now we need to create all of these rules, all of these preventative measures so that it doesn't happen again. And that is when all of you steal freedom from everyone, including yourself. That's insane. I never pieced it together that way before. Just so you guys know. I already figured a lot of this out, but there's pieces that I'm learning right now. Like in the last segment, I realized that I'm like, holy crap. That's what happens at every job, every relationship, like with the girl. And like if all of a sudden things changes because she doesn't feel as free anymore. I'm like, holy shit. But it happens everywhere. I'm like, if you just can make people always feel free, then you win. Up to a point when we're going to talk about it later, but you have to be aware of what I said. If someone walks by and throws water at them, which is going to happen if they're not healed, right? So you have to heal them. But I mean, the goal is just to get everyone feel free, but then you have to make sure they're healed, because otherwise they just throw the water at them whenever, the negative reminders, and then it's over, because then they always respond the set way. Yeah, so we talked about in the last stream, which is they're guided by a book of all their past reminders, everything, and just it forces them to respond a certain way. So now then they do things guaranteed to try to prevent something, and when they do that, they start stealing everyone's freedom, everyone's. So it doesn't matter how much you try to make the other person or a group or an organization or a country or a world free if they're not healed. Because the moment they get water thrown at them, the negative reminders, it's so severe for them that then they install all the variables in place that take freedom from everyone else. I'm like, holy crap, that's how they do it. They break their temporary shields. They bait their temporary shields to ideal. to make sure that they have all the things to prevent it from happening again. They just make one event happen that made them suffer, and then they will never allow it again. Because why would we, right? We learn from our mistakes. But then to prevent it, to prevent the repeat of what broke their temporary shield, because remember, if you guys are healed, if you're not shielded, it's not fun, but it doesn't destroy you. I'm saying for all of you, since none of you are healed, if you guys don't have a shield, so for most of you, you guys use external, like think of like an expensive TV that you bought or a vacation or something like that. Those things temporarily shield you. But if it got broken, like your shield again, even after you got those things, you guys need to get another one, another TV, another vacation, another thing like that. You guys get it? You always need more adoration, another sale, another reward, another something, because it's not enough. At any point they break your shield, you guys need it again because you're not healed. It's just that simple. So you create all these measures in place. Just thinking that that's going to make sure you get the success criteria again because you need it as well. But what you're doing is you're taking away other people's freedom. And when you do that, everyone performs worse, including yourself, all of you. Anyway, you guys see, like, I'm always piecing things together. So that's how they install the variables. Do you guys see that? That water example, that water interrupt that I did was how they do it to each and every single one of you, every single organization, every single area in our life, everything. So how could we feel freedom in all we do? So that's where I was going with that. I was saying I'm going to do a little bit more of an ideal path today because, as you can tell, guys, when we rely on the ideal path, we're more shielded, and we also know that we're going to talk about the things that we want to. But do you guys see? I'm deviating. I'm just using bullet points this time, but and I'm even using outfits that I already have a lot of positive associations for. But I'm telling you guys, I don't need them anymore. I've broken reliance to them, which means that I can deviate, which means that I can have fun. If you can only do things one way, or if you can only get to the answer one way, I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It works. It's good. But that means that if at any point they prevent it or they cause a complication, then it's over for you. And sometimes maybe that's good because then it changes your story. Okay? But for most of us, we don't realize how vulnerable we are because then that means if they cause, if they prevent it, we get re-enslaved. We're not free anymore. Because then, guess what? Now, then we're gonna get baited to care about more external things again. Like, well, since you didn't have all your tools that let you execute an incredible stream video performance, yeah, it didn't turn out as good. So fewer people watched it. Well, I need to figure out so either you're going to try now to always recreate the old, like what did I do last time? Or you are going to try to find new tools or ways or methods that let you bypass the limits that clearly caused your failure. But you guys see, then all of a sudden you get baited down a path of consumption, of excess, of external, and you're losing your freedom because what does that mean? Now there's time requirements. Now there's a need present. Now you can't choose how you respond to everything anymore. So that is my explanation of why this time I'm adding in a little bit more optimal. I'm telling all of you, I don't need it. I've proven it to myself. I've tested it. I've experimented. I've tried. I know I don't need it. I've already touched on everything that I'm going to talk about here, but I want to talk about these set things because they're really good. And I want to explain them in different ways. So you guys see, like, actually going back right now and using these tools, just some bullet points to guide my path a little bit, just a little bit, lets me talk about it the way, one of the ways that I originally had planned. Now you could say it's a predetermined future, sure, but do you guys see, like, I'm always deviating and changing things up, always. And I'm telling all of you, that's why that's why I feel free, because I know that even though I read all of these bullet points, I actually don't have to do them. Yet, old version of me, months ago, even, would have felt like I needed to. So at any point, I'm like, okay, let me check again. You guys see, like, that's what I call need. We're not safe then. So today, I've already given you all the answer, but now we're just explaining it in new ways. How can we reach the point where we feel freedom in all that we do? Because that is really what all of us are seeking. We want to feel calm. When I try something new, I'm telling you guys, anything new, I always now pay attention to how I feel. And I've broken everything. Do you guys understand? I am free. Yet there's still times where all of a sudden I'm like, I feel less free. I immediately are like, do you guys understand? There's always a battle. Like the moment I feel that way, I'm like, nope, I'm going to fight back. And I'm not saying that I cause necessarily problems, but like I can tell that I'm being enslaved. Do you guys understand? I can tell there's like this invisible whip. And I'm like, I can't piece together exactly what is causing it, but I'm like, I know there's something here that's enslaving me. And I'm like, this is really weird. This is really weird. This is really weird. And I see that in everything. And I'm telling you guys, I spend every second now, whenever I feel that way, trying to break it. And the common variable that I've always realized is it's other people. It's always other people. I'm like, if I'm just doing something by myself, and let's say like I'm playing a game and it's just AI, and there's more to AI, but we're not going to get lost there today. I just want people to start planting some seeds. And I'm like, I don't feel that way when it's just myself and the AI. But the moment there's other players present, sometimes, not always, but sometimes I do feel that way. I'm like, why did I not feel it that time? But this time with that player, I did. And I'm like, oh, they aligned with my play style. They were open to my experimentation. They were willing to try. They were willing to challenge themselves. They were willing to explore. They were willing to add difficulty. If the moment I see that they're playing for optimal or only for victory, no risks, playing not to lose, ooh. I'm like, immediately I can feel it and then, or they keep telling me not to do something or not to do something or not to do something. And they don't even give it the chance. I'm like, oh, I'm getting enslaved. They're taking away my freedom, right? They're putting limits. They're telling me what I need to do. They're putting time limits on me. They're putting requirements. Now I can't react by choice anymore. I'm now a must, but I'm telling you, I still find ways to deviate. I still find ways to not react because what they had installed throughout my entire life, guys, is what I'd realize is when that happens, I have a negative adverse reaction. But it's not as powerful as most people that I've noticed. I pay attention to everyone's reaction, and most people have an extremely powerful adverse reaction to the moment there's even just a hint of control. And I believe now that that's intentional because it's actually the best way to control people is to make them have a negative reaction to control. That's actually how you can control the entire world. Because I just have to be like, are you getting controlled? And everyone flares up. It doesn't matter who or what it is. If I present that to you, each and every one of you, I'm like, or if I do something overtly that I'm limiting your control, I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. The moment I say that to any of you, all of you are always going to feel a clash. Most of you actually will back down and calm down because you're more worried about other things that they've installed in you. You guys see now all of your responses, all of your reactions are based on the past. Like, what's going to make me feel safe? Or, well, I know that last time I created an argument, a conflict. I'm not going to do that again. Do you guys understand? control through just making you have a negative to the word control. So I realized I don't feel worried when doing new anymore because I'm just exploring. I'm like, there's no rush anymore. I don't feel like I have to do something by a set time. I don't feel the need to win. That doesn't mean that I don't enjoy it. Doesn't mean that I can now see the old things that were installed in me. Do you guys get it? That once you reach the state of freedom and you're healed, you need both. Freedom causes you not to worry. Freedom causes you to feel safe. Healed makes it so that there's no severity to it. But what happens when you have both is that when these things present, all of a sudden, like let's say like I'm playing some kind of game or some kind of competition or something. I try to avoid those because they really don't matter much. But sometimes they can still have uses, right? Like maybe they have strategy or mental resets, or you can change your focus, or maybe that's the only way to play something or do something. So you guys see, sometimes we might be forced into it. And I'm telling you, when I lose, or especially if it's like one-sided, I'm like, oh man, that did not go well. There's always like this little seed that pops up, a little sprout, like, hey, you're a noob. And I'm like, yeah, I know why. There's no problem. There's no rush. There's no time limit. I don't care about the external. I know why I did it. All this stuff. But I'm like, it pops up every single time, just 1%, and then I just squash it, and it's gone. But think about that, guys. I'm telling you, I'm fully healed for all my issues that they installed in me throughout my entire life, because all of them are created. They're fabricated. They're made to happen. We were chosen for them. And we're going to talk later about the consequences of that, by the way, because there are problems that happen in response to us being fully healed. So that means that whenever something gets presented, it doesn't have severity. I'm saying that's why it's just a little sprout. I'm like, get out of here. But before I realized that when it popped up, when I was fully healed, I would still get worried. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's back. They're making me feel worried that I'm losing in like a competition, or like, do you guys understand? It got to that. And I never understood why that wasn't going away, those things. Because it's essentially, think of it like, you guys know that there's a risk there, right? I'm like, ooh, there's a danger there. It doesn't mean that you're worried, but you know it's wrong. You're healed. Like, you're not worried about losing. Like, that doesn't determine my worth. But you guys get it. You still know that there's a risk there. So when you're free, you just don't worry about it anymore. That doesn't mean that you take unnecessary risk. It doesn't mean like, oh yeah, I'm going to invite all these problems to keep presenting themselves. I'm going to keep exposing myself to problems nonstop. Like, I'm not saying you do that, guys. But now, whenever it does present, or whenever it does happen, because what you're going to realize is that we just can't prevent everything. It's impossible. That's just how the world is designed. The severity is minimal. So that means and then if you add your own shields, right? Because shields just by nature are temporary, but you have to keep rebuilding them. But if you shield it and you didn't attach any of your shields to an external, and it's just your own self-sourced things that you self-create, that means that you don't need anything external. You don't attach it to like a ranking. You don't attach it to money. You don't attach it to, hey, did I get the girl or not? Do you guys understand? Those are the bonuses. Those reinforce your shield. Think of like you have a powerful shield, and it's like, oh, because I have a very beautiful girl, the shield all of a sudden gained the lion face, and now it's extra powerful. Now I take 0 damage before I took 1. Think of it like that, guys. But right now, most of you rely on that reinforcement, the line that popped up that protected us. You guys use that as your main shield, so they keep making you have to get more of it. That's the bait. And that's how you're never going to be free, number one. So I realized that. I'm like, wait, I'm not worried anymore. It's still, when it pops up, I'm like, I see they're trying to cause problems. And that That is what we're going to talk about at the end. That part. Because I'm saying that's how we lose faith in the world. Because now that you see the whole, you see everything, just so you all understand. When you get to this point, ugh, when you get to this point, it's tiring, it's exhausting because you see it all. That means that you now know your negatives. You know when something's trying to take away your freedom, not even the overtly ones, the mental ones. And you're just like, why is the world designed this way? So we're going to talk about that, but that's at the end. So I'm telling all of you, if you get to this, whenever you try anything new, you're actually calm. Because in the past, if there was anything new, I would base it off of like what other people told me, like, well, you should be good at this, you should already know this, you should do this. And so all that stuff was just building up and reinforcing fears, taking away my freedom, putting time limits, putting needs, putting requirements on how things need to be. And I'm just telling you guys, like, think about it. If I tell you there's 100 things you guys need to do, each of one of you needs to do a stream. Let's just say 3 hours. You guys need to do a 3-hour stream on how to feel freedom in all we do. That's what you guys all need to do today. Every single human being on this earth needs to stream for 3 hours today with just one little page of bullet points. How to feel freedom in all we do. 3 hours, only bullet points. Go. Well, you know what, guys? And I'm like, you have to conceptualize things through extra stories, and you have to teach people how to create interrupts. You have to build people up by going first basic and then more complex and then even more complex. Wait, what? Hold on. I'm still stuck on, I have to stream for 3 hours? I haven't even streamed once in my life. Yep. Well, can I just like read like from a Nope. Bullet points only for the 3 hours. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to show you? Is that if I decide that that is the way, and I tell you that this is what you need to do, these are the time limits that you need to do, these are requirements that you need to do to get the story outcome that I tell you matters. And yes, you know what? I'm going to grade you. I'm going to watch your stream. And if you make any mistakes, there's going to be problems. I am going to critique you and I'm going to complain. And if you don't get it all right, I actually might never talk to you again. I might not allow you to get what you're trying to achieve, whatever story you're trying to achieve. Maybe you need to stream for 3 hours today, because if you do that, then I'm going to heal you. Let's just make it positive. I'm going to heal you from all your traumas, insecurities, and fears. And I'm going to make you believe, because you are amazing. You are awesome. But if you don't succeed at this 3-hour stream the way I determine it, then I'm not going to heal you. And what have you been just trying to be healed from all the problems that have been plaguing you for years, 30 years of your life? And now you can't, because you need this. Do you all understand? This is how they do it to each and every single one of you for everything you do. This is why anything new you try, you guys don't feel safe. And if you do, it's because something else is carrying you to feel that way, is presented the correct variables to make you feel that way. So that means that, what does that mean? It means that we would be reliant on other people, something else. So it could be that, hey, like I said, if you guys are part of, like, if this is how I would heal and guide and teach all of you in my organization, which means that if you guys learned going to my organization, which is free, by the way, there's never going to be a money cost. It's free for everyone. Well, then you're going to be able to just heal and be able to do new. Because I presented the correct variables for you to do so. But that means that if at any point I'm not present to be able to present variable A, B, C, D, E, and F, it doesn't matter if Sirius Battle Dove flies by or a talking coffee mug, you can't recreate the success. And if you do, it's because something else presented those variables to you to make them happen. You all can't recreate it because you don't understand why it succeeded then. None of you can. And you spend your entire life, each and every one of you, trying to recreate something, be like, well, what was it then? And you all never will want to give credit to something else. You guys understand? And you shouldn't. You should seek it for yourself. But you guys don't understand that something else made you feel free or provided you enough of a temporary shield to be able to do so. So that means that anything negative that got presented got blocked by the shield, and they made you feel free to just do. That's how most of us, just so you guys know, end up healing anything or making progress on something. But if you don't know how to do it yourself, do you guys get it? That means that you're reliant. You're reliant, which means that at any point it gets taken away or it's prevented, or they use it to destroy you through it, because yeah, it happens to all of us. You guys, then everything falls apart. That's why if a company or people, like anything got changes, it's because they did this. So this is how you get to a point where you're not worried about doing new anymore, because you know that there's 0% chance to get it right the first time if you've never experienced something before, explored something before. But now you're free because you also realize, hey, there's no time limit, there's no need, there are no requirements. I can deviate. I can do a little bit here, then I can do a little bit here, then I can do a little bit of this, or I can change everything. And just everything just works out. We don't even care about what we say, what we do. And if something gets taken away because of this, then it's like, obviously that's not a good thing then, because that means that you guys see, like, you don't take it personally anymore, because you guys view that as, well, that thing is trying to steal people's freedom. That thing is actually a problem. That thing is essentially, just to be a little dark here, it's not bad to embrace a little darkness at the right time. That thing, whatever is doing that, is what's trying to steal other people's freedom. It's an enemy. I want you guys to realize that, like, whenever you're trying something new and there's like something there's like someone or something you're worried about, like that could cause problems, or is going to complain, or is going to attack or critique, or is installing limits and needs, I'm telling you guys, those are enemies. I'm not saying that you need to hurt them, but if anything happens when you're trying new and these people or things, because it doesn't have to necessarily be people, respond a certain way, then you know that they are the enemy. So what does that mean? It means you just move them away. That's it. They're an enemy. That's all it is. You understand? They're there to cause you problems, to enslave you back, to prevent your freedom. I've identified mine, and sometimes it's not who you guys think it is or what it is. I'm telling you, it's sad, but until they change, until they heal, and until they understand these concepts of how to become free, that's why they can't do. You guys understand? That's what it actually is, because they're not healed and they're not free. They're enslaved to time, to needs, to requirements, to external. They're not healed. So that means if they get reminded and they don't have a positive shield that protects them, it means that now they respond always the set way. And that means that they're going to try to place this same enslavements on other people. This is how they've enslaved the entire world, just so you guys know, guys. This is how they do it. It's just a chain that they do from one person to the next. And anyway, so this is how, when you're doing you just feel calm, because now you're not worried about those people or those things that make you feel that way, guys, because you just now know they're actually, they're built there, they're put there, they're placed there to enslave people, to take away freedom. There's a chance to get those people on our side, but it's almost impossible, because it's a personal battle. We all need to be doing this. And I'm telling all of you, that's why I said it's not just people, it's also concepts. I was enslaved. The way they were taking away my freedom was, I believed, since I know how, that I could heal and take away and teach them how to be free. I could heal them and I could teach them how to be free. And And I'm saying that's what they were using for me. So it means I couldn't do things the way I wanted to, new, because I was limited by that. Do you guys see? It's extremely complex. But now anything new you guys try, anything, that doesn't mean that it doesn't pop back up any of those like a few seconds of hesitation or a little, because you're going to get reminded of it. That's just how they do it, guys, in anything, I'm telling you. But you guys now can squash it, the the sprout that pops up from Final Fantasy, and be like, see ya. Not today, guys. And you're calm. Because now you just think of it like this, guys. If you don't care as much about something, if you don't care as much about an outcome, if right now, remember I put you guys up to the challenge of the test of a 3-hour stream, and I put those limits and I put those time requirements on you guys, and I'm like, all right, go. So if you guys are doing it, maybe you're gonna feel like weird. Maybe something reminded you of like the last time you tried to do like a PowerPoint presentation and you forgot your PowerPoint, or maybe like you didn't know what to say because you were doing it in a different language, so you were just reading out of the paper. But maybe instead, you guys are just like, you know what? I'll turn on the stream and I'm just gonna lay down. And when you guys lay down, what you guys are gonna notice is you're gonna get reminded of things, the same exact things, or you're gonna feel the exact same way temporarily, like you did when you were trying to do my 3-hour stream. Yet you're gonna notice when you're laying down, those same reminders don't have the same impact on all of you. Why would that be, guys? It's because we don't care when we're laying down. If you already walked away from the webcam and the and the computer and you're over there, you guys understand now that it doesn't matter anymore. But if you're right here and you're actually executing, you're performing, and you're trying, then it does matter. So you see how they do it, because then we get worried. That's what I'm saying. Being healed, think of being healed as either one doesn't cause you a problem. But what I'm saying is when we're not free, we get worried when it happens, and it controls our next response always. I'm not saying that doesn't mean we can't create certain counters to help us. I did certain tactics there. If you guys rewatch this and started learning some of my counters and how I do things, I did some because they were attacking me. They were reminding me of things. And I did some, but I have deviated them. But I'm telling all of you, if I lay down in my bed right now, like, how can I get to that feeling where I'm just like, it doesn't matter? That is when you know you're free. I want all of you to think about it. Like for the rest of this discussion today, I want each of you guys to think about like, how can I get to that when I'm trying anything new? Like if I'm just like if I'm laying in bed, it doesn't even matter anymore. What happens? Can you guys like try some kind of competition and literally be like, just like if I'm laying down? If you guys can get to that, that means you're fully free. It's not easy, but we're going to break that down today. I'm saying I've reached that state, and I'm teaching all of you how to do so. If you listen to all this today and you take notes and you decipher it and you deconstruct and you break it down, all of you are going to be very close, if not succeed, on reaching that state. Isn't that what all of you want? Then you are always free. The feeling that you guys always seek, that calmness, you're going to be able to recreate it on demand. So what do I call that? I call that a repeat experience. Repeat experiences are interesting because what you're going to notice is that it's not always the same. Why? Because it's based on the path, our seasoning, but our path that we walk to get there. You're like, why is it that this time it's good, but yesterday or last time wasn't? So when you're healed and when you're free, but really it's when you're free, you realize actually it doesn't matter what I got seasoned or what I got presented before. The only thing that I can't figure out how to change, just so you guys are aware, is the enjoyment. If you got seasoned negatively and a lot of bad things have happened, or they reminded you of a lot, again, right? The severity is non-existent. It doesn't bother you because you know everything's wrong. and you're not worried anymore because you know how to respond by yourself. But what I still realized is that no matter what, the actual experience and the enjoyment of it is never going to be the same. So that part, I just want people to understand that part tells you that, hey, if you know there's been a lot of bad and something trying to steal your freedom, don't do some one-time experience next, guys. Like for myself, I think about like, hey, yep, I'm not going to play a story video game right now that has a segment that I really am looking forward to because it's not going to be as enjoyable right now. But I can play something. Maybe now it's the time to play one of those like multiplayer games that I don't care about it anymore if I win or lose because it just has so much random things to focus on. I might get even lost in care for like 5 seconds, but like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're losing. I'm like, wait, what does that matter? Oh yeah, that's right. You guys see, like, it just completely distracts me. That part, you guys see, like, that's real. That's one of the solutions, by the way, guys. Do you guys see, like, using mental resets, using a focus change when you know that you're healed, right? You're not worried. It doesn't destroy you anymore, and you're free. So you can choose how you respond to everything, but you still realize that they created events and situations to like bring. You're just like, you know what? Yeah, they're controlling my path a little bit. So people are like, oh, then you're not free. And I'm like, I could choose to do so. Do you guys get it? I could choose right now to walk to the line. But if I walk to the line right now, the line just is not going to be as bright right now. If I wait till tomorrow, it's going to be bright. And I didn't do anything different. I just waited a little bit. I'm like, but you guys see, here's the key actually. If I needed to do it right now, if I needed to go to the line right now, you guys see how I'm vulnerable to what they present. If I need to do the line right now, I need to go over there right now. I can't deviate. Remember what I said, guys? You get to the point where you can deviate. You can choose no matter what. You don't have to do something. There's no time limit. There's no need. There's no requirement. You get to choose. That means I'm like, I really was going to play it right now or go do this path right now. You know what? They presented these negatives or these bad things have happened. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wait till tomorrow, maybe a week from now, whatever. People are like, then you're not free. I'm like, on the contrary, you are free. I always viewed it as that I'm not free. Now I actually view it as, no, your ability, freedom isn't, this is really good. Freedom isn't not having something dictate your path. I always thought that's what freedom meant, that now nothing dictates your path anymore. That's the owl, right? That's what we're striving toward. We all would wish that to be the case, but I'm saying what I've realized is that there's unavoidable damage that occurs. And we can't do anything about it unless we know every single thing that's going to happen in advance. And I'm saying, doesn't that kind of almost ruin the game of life, the game of anything we're trying, if we know everything? So that means that at some point, our paths are going to be slightly controlled. But why we're actually free is because we get to choose in response what we do. Everyone always views that as, you are controlling me. And I'm saying the things in this world that actually are controlling us through mental slavery don't want us to know this. This is how we actually break free, because we get also worried that we're being controlled in that moment. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. If I do that right now, you're controlling me. I'm like, on the contrary, can you choose? Can you choose when? If you know that those things got presented despite you not wanting that, can you still choose a different path? Or do you have to still walk to the line right now? If you can't deviate your path, if you have to go to the line right now, knowing that it's not going to be as bright, then you're not free. They're like, but you made me they made me deviate my path. I'm like, yeah, but your ability to know that, to recognize it, not have a time limit, not have a self-need, not have a requirement, and choose your own path in response, that's the answer. That's actual freedom. I know I'm going to have to re-listen to this part. That's really good. Why I say this, guys, is because just so all of you know, one of the things that I still struggled with, I feel like I solved it. I really do. I feel like I just solved it. One of the things that I really struggled with was I beat myself up not knowing when I should deviate or when I should do. And sometimes I just said F it, and I always felt better, but then still someone's like, I feel like I did what they wanted. And that bothered me. And I'm saying it's because there were bad things that have happened in my life that because I actually listened to guidance that caused me a lot of problems. Perceived and real, by the way. Both of them don't matter. It's just the point is negative. So I was always worried that if I do certain things at a set time that they guided me or they controlled me. And I'm saying suggestions are extremely dangerous. We don't need suggestions. Once you have all this knowledge and you're free, you don't. But when it gets suggested, you're like, that's a cool one. I know that's thanks for the reminder. I'm gonna check that out later. Still, you didn't need it. Just so you guys understand, you didn't need it. But now I'm like, oh, before I'm like, well, what if I actually was planning to walk that path or like play that game or like watch that music video from like a game or something like that, and they suggested it, I might have actually not done it then. That was who I had become because I was worried that meant that I wasn't free. And now I realize is that I can just be like, ooh, though they suggested something good right now, actually, even if I don't do exactly that and I do something else, it's going to change how I interpret it. But since it was good, it's going to look bright. That means it's okay. And I kind of push something negative right now. You know what? I'm not gonna listen to that song right now. You see, I'm free to choose, guys. And if I still want to, call it a risk. But if I still want to risk and go to the line, I'm like, I know that I can, and I know I'll be fine. But I'm like, hey, there's no rush anymore. Do you guys understand? There's no rush. People are like, I need to like think of it like this, guys. You're reading a book. I'm like, I need to complete the book. I need to finish reading it by this weekend. And I'm like, why? You see, like arbitrary requirements get created, real or perceived, it doesn't matter. But it's just if it feels like it's real, then we create these requirements. And I'm telling all of you that then we get enslaved. It's like, I need to play this today. And sometimes there are some requirements that happen. Let's think of like a temporary positive event that gets created in a community or an area. That's real. But you have to be careful not to get enslaved to it. But if you're aware of it, well, you can plan around it. Do you guys see? But you see, that's how it begins. That's a great way for you guys to test this knowledge through a positive, temporary, like seasonal thing. That's how you guys can begin exploring this knowledge, everything that I'm talking about today. Check it out, guys. So, repeated experiences. I realized that sometimes when we did something again, we just, everything was smooth. We felt great. And then other times, I'm like, I know this so well. Why don't I feel good here? And I've talked about this throughout all my videos, all my streams, all my written content, everything. There's many things that go into it. But what I really realized is it's just there were enough things that got created and presented that made us not feel free. That's all it really is. That's why the repeated experience was different. We can break free. But do you guys understand? To do so, you have to destroy all time limits, all need, all requirements. That means that now there's no outcome that needs to happen anymore. For many of us, the only time we ever get there is when like something is really bad. Most of us, that's when we get there. And I encourage all of you to, when that happens, to explore that because it's like, whoa, that's actually really cool. That's a really good thing. It's like when something is so bad, you're like, well, there's nothing we can really do anymore. So then you guys just almost like you relax. You guys are just like, you feel you're calm because it's like, well, it's a guaranteed loss. So I guess might as well just, it doesn't matter anymore. But before that, you guys were worried. You guys see? So any experience that you guys do repeatedly and you try, I'm like, why is that one time I feel safe and one time I don't? I'm saying you need to guys pay attention to time and need. It's those two things that create the requirements. And then they start, if you can't deviate, if you can't choose how you respond, if you have to do something by must, that's why. And just even think about it, guys. When you're exploring, when you're designing something, if right now, if I go outside and if I'm exploring, I'm just walking, I have no idea where I'm going. But what if someone told me, hey, you need to see these 10 things? For most of you guys, think of like tourism, traveling to a new place, anywhere. Most of you feel enslaved to seeing the key things. You guys don't use the word enslave, but you feel like you have to. You guys understand what I'm saying? A need. You feel that need. And then what else is present, guys? There's a time limit. Oh, that place is only open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Do you guys get it? That means that you're enslaved. None of you will feel free when doing these things. That means that no matter what happens, guys, unless some enough positive temporary of your positives create a shield for you that protects you temporarily to like make you forget that we're enslaved to this path. Whatever you guys do, whenever you're exploring, whenever you're like just seeing what's out there, you guys won't enjoy it as much. And the times that you did, it's because something broke the enslavement path that was created. All of a sudden, you're like, think of it like this, guys. You walked somewhere and all you were planning to go somewhere and it was going to be for like 3 hours an experience, and that event got canceled. You guys didn't know. All of a sudden, you regain time, right? You guys all of a sudden now have free time, 3 hours. Well, what are you going to do with that time? It's when that moment happens, guys, that you guys are going to be able to test this, because then you're like, wait, I have time. What can we do? Well, we could do this. We could do this. You guys see, there's no more limits. There's no more needs. There's no more time. You all get to decide now. But what you're going to see, what's going to happen next, guys, is that things are going to start getting presented. So reminders are going to happen. You're like, oh, remember the last time we didn't have any plans? Yeah, something bad happened, or like we forgot to grab food, or we missed the bus because of it, or we like all of a sudden the moment we're free, because that's the first time most of you guys become free. An event occurs that destroys a set time limit or a set need. Something happens that like destroys whatever was pre-created for everyone and everything. The moment that occurs, all of us are temporarily free, even if we haven't discovered how to become free ourselves. So for many of us, just to teleport people back a little bit, but I want all of you guys to think about it. For many of us, it was COVID. Actually, COVID essentially made everyone free, just so people are aware. Regardless of what happened, I just want people to understand that temporarily, the entire human race was free. Because there was no more time limits, there was no more needs. It was just, everyone was just like, well, now what? But when that happens, do you guys understand? Things start getting presented to try to get people enslaved again to things, to that they have to get something, or they're going to miss out on something, or something bad is going to happen, or they should be worried about this or that. And then you see when that gets presented, all of a sudden now people now react and respond based on what they think they have to do, a must, rather than by choice. Well, I'm like, well, I could do that. Well, I could do that. Well, I could do. Nope. Now we have to do these things, or else. You see, punishments, they change things a lot. So I want the moment of any punishment is present in anything, guys. If it's not just something harmless, something minor, like as well, hey guys, the tourism experience that we were going to do was closed today. randomly. So now we have 3 hours. But you know what? Um, they're going to open up again. And they close at 3. So now from let's say we arrived there at noon, from 12 to 3, right? And they closed. They're actually going to open up again at 3. So it's going to be open from 3 to 6. So you guys see that really there's no major punishment. It just got deviated. When it's something like that, do you guys see it's actually not a punishment? But the only thing to be aware of, guys, is if you have to, that means that now we could get enslaved to doing it from 3 to 6 p.m. That is what I said earlier that I had realized, where I would before have thought, oh, I'm not free anymore. I'm enslaved now to that. And I'm saying, hey guys, well, do we still want to do it at 3 to 6? We don't have to anymore. We can choose. No, we have to see that tourist experience. Then the problems begin. If we can now choose, well, do we want to go there at 3 to 6? Well, let's see what happens between 12 to 3. If we're nearby, let's do it. If not, we don't do it. See, now we're free. Now there's no limit, there's no need, there's no requirement. We get to just choose. And I'm telling you, there's a good chance that we are going to do it. We're gonna be like, it's like 2:45. I'm like, hey, you know what? We're feeling good. I'm like, we had like a pretzel in Germany. We had like some bratwurst. Yeah, let's go over there. Let's do it. And you guys start walking over there, and all of a sudden it's like you're excited, you're happy, you're free. And you get there, and just there's no limit. I'm telling you guys, it changes everything. It changes how we explore. When we start putting time limits on ourselves, and when we need to do set things, it's different. And all you have to do is add in a little bit of punishment or caring about an outcome, an external, some kind of reward that we grade ourselves by, then it's over. And that leads me to designing. This one, most of you haven't broken the chains and the locks and the strings that tie you down that prevent you from creating something. So, what that means is that most of you are creating for something else, for someone or for something else. Think of it like you guys are an employee, or you are an artist under like another a label or a brand, something like that. You guys are not doing it for yourself. And I'm not saying that it doesn't really matter if it's under your name. Okay, as much as people think it does, it really doesn't. That's not the point, because creation shouldn't be about the external reward or about how many people consume it, because that's the bait. They get us on the path of consumption so that we lose all freedom. What I'm saying, guys, is it doesn't matter if you're under an umbrella. Do you guys understand? Or like you're a part of the pyramid. That actually, you are more limited. But if they give you freedom, do you guys get it? It doesn't actually matter that much. But the problem is that today, any organization, any entity, anything that has a hierarchy system is not free. If there's one, I would love for them to raise their hand and talk to me, because I don't believe it. I've never seen it, and I don't think it's ever going to exist. It just doesn't. Why? Because the moment that freedom presents itself, what I told you guys with the exploration example, the moment it happens, usually for most of us, it happens by chance. Something just happened that created it temporarily. Either people got shielded and protected, they didn't get destroyed for once, so they didn't enslave people, and then everyone's free. Or maybe like someone like myself walked by and gave them enough of a positive, and today they're just like, you know what, guys? Everyone just create today the way they want to believe in. I just, someone told me that our creations, our products, our video game design, our movies, our songs are so amazing, and they explain in such a way. I'm like, I never saw it this way. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. You guys are free. Do whatever you want. I can't wait to see what you guys create today. And everyone's like, whoa, what got into our boss? And everything seems bright and good, and everyone's excited. But some people might actually be like, is this a trick? Like, do you guys understand? Those are the people that are more enslaved and afraid based on their past. But that is all good and it's going to last for a while, and maybe they create some things, and like there's this like tree that blossoms and everyone's thriving, and then all of a sudden though, all it takes is if one of those creations or certain reminders get presented doesn't do as well, or they make less money, or a competitor is like, hey, our product that we followed the best practices or did something that got this much money or these results or this many people played it or whatever, then that boss who broke free and now believed was like, they start grading all the stuff, and like they hear their voice, and she's like, what is all this? Like, what, why would you guys create this? Like, what, this is what you guys did over the last month? What is wrong with all of you? I hired you for a reason. And now everything is lost again. And that's it. It's over. And this is what happens to every company, every government, every country, everything. Anything that has interactions with other people, where the limits and time and need and certain outcomes need to be requirements happen. The moment those are present, you guys understand there is no freedom anymore. There's zero. Because what I'm trying to tell you guys is if you are fully healed and you understand all this knowledge that I'm explaining today, what you realize is that you're just calm. Like you guys are like, it doesn't matter. We're going to create regardless, because guess what? Now everyone just feels safe. Everyone just believes and not enslaved to. It's not a lie. They just are like, I can just do anything. And if I don't know how to do something yet, I'm exploring. I'm trying. And I'm going to learn. And I'm going to get there. And everyone has each other's back, not telling people what to do, not doing it for them. It's just everyone's just moving forward and thriving. And what you guys are going to notice is that things just happen. Everything's just progressing. Things just get solved. And I'm not saying that maybe you could have done one part better than the other person, maybe. But that means you're just more developed and progress in that area than them. You guys see, you don't even care about that. All those things just don't even matter, because you guys can just see things logically and clearly. Like there's no problems anymore. You guys see, like there's just no problems. Things don't matter. At no point am I saying we don't care about our creation, because what you're going to realize is that the result is always just better. It's just an incredible thing. And if there's a part that doesn't flow as well, it's like everyone understands why. There's no problem. Everyone's on the same page. What you guys always seek, and why you guys get trapped in your small little communities of only getting the people that align with you, that say that no matter if your result is good or bad, because this is the problem why you also all get enslaved. You guys find that group that aligns with you no matter what, so that they always say that you're good, so that they always say that your creation's amazing, even if it isn't. And why would it not be? Because you're not creating freely. That's the only reason why it won't be. Your creation is always going to be amazing if you're free. Just so you guys understand, because if it isn't where you want it yet, you know why. It's just you're exploring, you're trying things. So that means that what's going to happen is if everyone has this approach, you're going to, the same thing that you guys seek so desperately when you guys create your own echo chambers of people that only align with you and only pamper you, is that you're going to have that everywhere. And if you don't have it, well, you guys, it's not, because people think that you're going to get to the point where you don't want to listen to any feedback. And I'm saying that's good. Why? Because you're creating, you let people experience, but you're creating then again. You're not basing it off of their feedback. You're just seeing how they experience it. You're like, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to create again. And you keep modifying and you keep trying to improve it for yourself, but you know that the side effect is for everyone. But why wouldn't you guys want to create the best thing regardless? You guys understand? When you're free, when you're not worried about that, you guys just create. And you always are going to create something better, because we all want to create something amazing. That's why I just can't comprehend it anymore. That's one of the struggles of this, just so you guys know. One of the problems of this freedom is that you like, I'm like, it makes so much sense. Like, who no one would ever, if you actually care about what you're creating, if you're free, if you're choosing to do so out of your own free will, not because you have to, not because you need to. This is why I said, why do you guys still work the jobs you guys do? Would you still do so without money? I'm like, okay, if you would, then that means that you would do so if you're free. If you had complete freedom, you didn't have to pay for food or survival costs, would you still do this? I'm like, okay, and that means you guys are free. That means you care about it. That means that anything you create there, you're not doing for the reward. You're not doing it for the review. You're not doing it for the money. You're not doing it for the praise. You're not doing it for the ranking. You're just doing it because you enjoy it. I think like there's games like League of Legends. Like I just play it because it's a good shield for mine. It's good mental interrupt, and then I enjoy it. I don't even care anymore if I lose or win. It's always fun to win. You guys understand? It's like, my strategy worked, but it doesn't matter anymore. And people are like, well, if you don't care anymore about winning or losing, doesn't that mean you're going to play worse? And I'm like, no, because I'm free now. Do you guys understand? I'm always going to try to improve my strategy. I'm always going to try to improve different methods and tactics, but it doesn't matter. That's why like, all of you are like, well, if there's no external reward, if there's no money, if there's no things, people are going to not care anymore about the creations. I'm telling all of you, you're wrong. That's how I know all of you are not free. Because if you think that you need that for people to perform or to create better, it tells me that you are not healed and that you are not free. That is final. I now know that for a fact because that's why I'm like, you guys don't need to create limits and time limits and needs and requirements and punishments for other people. You just don't. It's not necessary. Because if they believed, if they were free, if they thought they can achieve anything, they're always going to want to improve their own work. Do you guys understand? They will, if they're not enslaved to the external, they will always improve. Always. 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 It doesn't matter. Which means they don't actually even need to read or hear the feedback. I'm saying you can watch from afar to kind of see how people are experiencing. But regardless, you're like, you know your vision and you're going to keep refining regardless. And I'm telling all of you, there's going to be things that get to you, but like if people are like, oh, this is too complex or this is too challenging, but it doesn't even change anything. You're always gonna be like, well, okay, I'm always trying to explain things in a better way. I'm always trying to refine things. Okay. But all of you right now get controlled by that. You lose all freedom when that happens. I'm saying when I hear that, I'm like, I didn't even need to hear that because you guys understand, regardless, I'm always trying to improve it. If you're not, it tells me that you're not doing it out of your own free will. You're not actually free. You're doing it because you have to or because something is forcing you to. I just think about it for all video game developers out there. I'm like, the game that you guys are currently creating and designing, I'm like, do you feel free to design and create your way? You guys probably don't. If there was no pay, would you guys still design and create that game that you're creating? If not, that's a vulnerability. Developers, you guys need to get all the developers to feel free and to believe in their thing and to design freely. The creation is going to be absolutely incredible. Don't limit them. Don't put time limits. And what you guys are going to realize is that if now they just can do and they don't have to do it based on these arbitrary criteria that something else decides. Oh, we don't have to make it easier to do it, whatever, right? You guys are going to realize is that all of a sudden, all the roadblocks disappear. Because when you reach this state, guys, you don't worry anymore about getting it right or perfect because you just know how to march forward because there's nothing enslaving you. And you're always just refining. That means you can just release. You can just, I'm telling you guys, this is how I keep using video games because it's something I'm passionate about. But think about it for you guys, movies, TV shows, books, anything. Think about like if your favorite author or your favorite TV show or your favorite video game developer just released updates every single week as they were developing it. I'm like, okay, boop, develop it, boop, develop it, release, develop it, release, develop it, release, develop it, release. And they're like, instead of spending 3 years refining it, trying to get it perfect, because they're all have all these arbitrary requirements, time limits, needs, all these things. We need to get good reviews. We need to make this much money. We need to make this much people play, or all this stuff. I'm telling you, in those 3 years, they could have refined and released 300 things. Think about how much further their skill set, their belief, their development is going to be. And if something is really releasing so many things at assuming, the only key is assuming they're not getting suppressed intentionally. Think about how many people are going to be like, guys, you need to play that game, or it's free, or watch this show, it's free, or this book. I'm like, they're releasing all these things that has so much good stuff. Do you guys get it? You all worry so much about that feeling of success, but you don't realize that it's actually freedom, that you guys prevent freedom in everyone. So then all creations, all design is ruined. How do you guys know? That, what we just discussed in depth, was freedom. So how can we get that consistently? How can we get that consistently, guys? Because all that is good and all, right? Everything we just talked about sounds ideal. It makes sense. Some of you are like, well, sure, but how can we get there? I call this the freedom poem. Is it a poem? It doesn't matter, but that's what I'm calling it. If I would recommend you guys write this down. If we have time, thus not a concern. If we don't need, thus just an experience, equals we can deviate and respond as needed by choice, not by must. No reaction if requirements vanish. Thus, only freedom. That freedom poem right there, guys, is everything I explained thus far in this entire stream and video. It touches everything. If we have time, guys, we're not concerned. Think about it. In anything in your life, guys, if I give you time right now, are you worried? For anything. Hey, could you give me a glass of water? Oh, yeah, I'll get you one right now. I'm like, no, you have 10 years to do so. Oh, okay. Or not even 10, it doesn't matter. You just give it to me before I die. Okay. You might even laugh. I'm like, I'll get it to you in like 10 minutes or something like that. You guys might even talk through time. Do you guys get it? If you have time, there's no concern. I challenge all of you to explore that in anything. Why do you think I'm one of the, if you've been following along my journey, I'm one of the biggest proponents for removing survival costs. No food costs, no shelter costs. And we need to create a new currency for luxury resources that we don't need, bonuses that could be fun and make things a little easier, but that we don't need. That maybe, why don't we just reward people for creating things freely? If they create something because they're free and they're not worried about the external anymore, then hey, we can give them some luxury tokens that they can exchange for something that just maybe makes things a little, that they can explore other people's creations. Something like that. So how can we explore everyone's creations? Well, if you create, you can explore other people's creations. I don't know, but I'm just giving you guys an example. If you had time, I'm like, hey, I want you, whoever's listening, to create a new currency. I want you to spend every single day just trying to figure that out. Well, I don't know. That sounds like I would love to, but I'm worried. No, there's no more costs. There's no more time limits. You're free. Oh, really? Like, yeah. Most of you won't even know what to do. Oh, yeah, I don't have to go to work. No, this is now what you would consider your work. Oh, oh. Like, do you guys see? Like, if you guys change it to that, then you're not concerned. Telling you guys, the reason why all of you have concerns is because of time. If you remove the time, and you can literally do what all of you consider waste time. Like, hey, today, can we just do like a streaming video, and can we just talk about like what we experienced today? I'm like, well, I tried drinking warm coffee and I tried drinking cold coffee. And that's what you're going to talk about. Like, you guys could. Do you guys understand? There's nothing wrong with it, because that leads us to number 2. If we don't need to do something, it's just an experience. If you don't need to talk about a specific topic, right? If you don't need to create a currency a specific way, like I even just suggested that to you just to get you guys' brain thinking in new ways. But you don't need to do that. It could be anything. Well, then whatever you decide to do is just an experience. Do you guys understand? Anything. If you're literally just talking about warm coffee and cold coffee and how it tasted, why I decided to do that when I at one point and when I didn't, like, people are like, is that even interesting? I'm like, who knows? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't need to do it. There's no time limit. There's nothing. There's no requirement. I'm saying you guys should preferably choose to do things and create things that you believe in, that you would want to, because you're free now. You can. You're not doing it for a reward or for a story outcome. Do you guys see? There's no must. And that leads us to, now you guys can deviate. What if, like, you were hoping to talk about the warm coffee and the cold coffee, but instead, like, I don't know, you didn't pay attention that you were running low on coffee. You ran out of coffee. And you're like, no, I can't. I wanted to actually make coffee and try that, and I don't have any. Well, now what? Can you deviate? Can you do warm water and cold water? Do you guys see? Like, if there's no must, if there's no need, you can deviate. Even if the coffee would have been what you would have preferred or the optimal. If there's no must anymore, there's nothing forcing you. And we always think, we only always look at the overt, like, well, oh, I have to do this and this and this. I'm saying, no, like, for yourself, hey, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't actually matter. I just wanted to talk today. Like, nothing forced me today. There was no reward. There's nothing external that, like, nothing bad or nothing necessarily good. I'm just like, hey, you know what? I'm saying this is for myself, guys. I started some positive paths. I learned some good lessons. And I'm like, you know what? I have some time right now. I feel good. I want to decipher this. I want to explain some of this. I think it'd be great. I think it's valuable. And if not, it's regardless, it's valuable for myself. Do you guys see? Like, there's nothing, I'm free. That means I can respond as needed to anything, no matter what happens. To anything. I remember how we even started this video on the stream. Why would I bring you guys back your attention to that? Some of you guys remember I said some people might have left the video in the stream when I was banging the pot with the measuring cup thing. And do you guys get it? Because I can just respond as I need to by choice. Need to. I see I use that word intention, because if it's by choice, it's not a need. But I can just choose. It doesn't matter if everyone stops watching or if a million people start watching anymore. Before, I cared about those things. Do you guys understand? So it means that if those variables got presented, either one, like, if, let's say, like, I'm like, okay, right now I have 10 viewers and I did the pot antic and the measuring cup. Now I have 8. I'm like, ooh, I lost viewers because of that. This is me just saying, guys, don't pay attention to analytics whatsoever. First of all, because you don't know if it was actually something you did that caused it. Just so you guys are aware. I might, let's say I clicked on your stream and then I only watched for 10 seconds. I said hello and then I left. You might have, if you watch the analytics, you're like, oh, well, obviously my stream must have been boring at that point. That's why they left. And I'm like, no, I just said hello to 500 people. That's all I was doing. Do you guys see? Like, we attribute things to other stuff and it's irrelevant. Analytics, unfortunately, I wish they had more value, but after now I'm realizing is that they're pretty useless. They really are, because if you just refine your own process and your own work and you just are always trying to improve it regardless because you care about it and you're free, you don't need to do something, there's no time limits, you're going to improve it regardless. And if you're not getting any results, well, first of all, does that matter? But two, I'm like, then maybe you're getting suppressed, which is a complete other topic. But I just want you guys to understand, like, you all worry that I'm not getting it right. I'm like, guys, don't worry. If you're just always refining and improving and making better, eventually you should see results. And when again, you're not caring about the result, it's just going to happen naturally. And if they don't, well, it's not something you get enslaved to, but you're like, well, maybe actually I'm just getting suppressed. Oh, well. Is that going to stop you from creating? If you learn that, guys, then you're not free anymore. You guys see? Because that means that that's a requirement. Well, I need people to consume it. So if I just remind you that no one's consuming it, then you have a reaction. That means you might deviate your path, but not because you chose to, but because I made you feel like you had to. Do you guys see that that takes away freedom? The moment we install requirements, punishment, time limits, needs, we take away free, and also even just feedback, guys, analytics, they take away freedom. Because I'm telling all of you, if you really care about something and you believe in it and you want to improve it regardless or solve something for yourself, you don't need those things. The only reason why you're going to parent your kid is because other moms tell you that you're a good mom. If you really cared about your kid, then you guys don't need that. Do you guys understand? You're not going to have a reaction anymore. You won't do things based on that. It doesn't matter what they present. It doesn't matter what they say. You're healed. You feel safe. You feel calm. You're free. You just do it your way. I'm telling you guys. So let's touch upon, I'm going to grab a piece of bread, just something to chew on. But I'm going to talk about the topic. The same thing. One more time, we're going to hammer it in. How can we make something feel like a repeat kill? Kill is a video game terminology that I use that makes me feel comfortable, that shields me. Remember what I said, guys, a positive path. But for some of you guys, just consider it a victory. And anything that has a victory loss, how can we make something feel like a repeat victory? Okay. Grab some more water and another piece of bread. Let's do this. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, guys. I'll be right back. Make sure you guys grab a snack. Oh, I think I just lost another viewer. All right, let's do this. I just gave you guys the answer. So, how do you make something feel like a repeat kill? Why do I feel safe? Why do I feel free to just what most of you would describe as be yourself? What is it that I'm doing? What is it that I did that would allow me to do so? Because what you guys are going to piece together is there's a good chance that throughout this entire journey, throughout this entire experience, I actually am suffering little losses throughout. There might have been people that have been following along until now, but then I came back with this and they're like, really again, the pot and measuring cup thing? I'm out of here. And that's possible. That's actually very real because do you understand? They are not free yet. That's what I'm trying to get people to realize is that it's so weird because I never used to think this way, guys. That's the craziest part. I would have thought I got enslaved to what happens to everyone else is that they make us think that if we say that we're just almost like making an excuse for ourselves to justify any bad behaviors. And I'm saying on the contrary, because now we're just trying to only do good. Our intent is only good. And if there's anything that happens that causes bad, if we can prevent it or fix it or try to make it better, we will. But I'm saying if those people react that way to what I'm doing, then that tells me that they're not healed and that they're not free because they're not choosing how they're responding. They can't deviate their response. Do you guys understand? It means that when a variable A presents to them, they always respond and react a set way. Always. They're not free. They're not healed, first of all. So it's severe. That's what also like flares them up to have such a strong reaction. But then they're not free, so they get worried, and it compounds. And if they're not shielded, which they don't know how to do those things, they now rely on something external. So if they see this, it's gonna probably trigger something inside of them, right? That's what you guys call triggers. So they got reminded by an overt trigger, but for other people, it's usually mental what they actually do. So then they might just close my stream and instead, like for example, myself, one of my positives is beautiful girls. I might just be like, okay, let's browse Twitch really quick and find like a hot girl streamer. And you guys see, like now they're temporarily protected again. They're shielded, but they're not free. That you got that response. Oh, bad happened. Close the stream. Go to a stream that has a beautiful girl instead. Do you guys see? It's a set response. We can't choose anymore. Whatever we do is guided. cannot talk with my mouth full on a streaming video. I'm sorry if it bothers you. It's because you're not healed. You're not free. Yet, knowing that it does bother some of you because you're not, guess what? I'm going to choose not to do it more right now. Because if I learn and identify some of your vulnerabilities that they installed in you and they created in you, or that they're trying to do, guess what I would do, guys? If I only have good intent, I would do everything in my power to limit that. I would do everything in my power to limit causing bad things. Because that's just how life works. When things get presented, we need to be able to be free. So this is really good. No matter what gets presented anymore to us, we always react the same way. We always perform the same way. We always do the same thing. And I'm telling you guys, what just happened right now in my reality is an event occurred. I explained this previously by calling it a meteor shower. But today I used a little sprout, a little tree starts blooming, a little seed, and a little crack. And the moment that happens, you just step on it. Or you know what? In this case, I'm not even stepping on it because I'm healed. But it always presents, like I said, right? That 1%. Why would I step on a little? And it's new life. It's a sprout. It's a little tree. Final Fantasy. Instead, since now I'm free, I'm completely free. I don't get worried anymore. But I'm telling you guys that 1% still exists. It always will. Because it got installed in us. So then when that happens, I'm just like, oh, hey there. And you know what? Think of it like this little piece of ham. I'm just going to put it right over here. I might even put it right on the there you go. That's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to leave it right there. And that is just what got presented to me right now. A disruption that they had previously programmed negatives to, that I had destroyed it. I healed and I'm free. And I'm telling you guys, now I do that. And I'm like, old version of us, even just like 18 months ago, would have been terrified about having a piece of ham on a microphone. I'm like, it actually could disrupt the audio. If it does, guys, I just want everyone to know. I'm going to rewatch this and re-listen to this at a later point. If I rewatch and re-listen to this and I find that the ham actually is causing disruptions and audio problems, and I'm like, ooh, when I'm consuming, I'm like, yeah, I think that's actually not a good thing. Guess what? I'm not going to do it again. I can use it now as a story, as an example, but I'm not going to do it again. So you guys know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it right here, because that way it's not on the actual microphone part itself, but you guys can still see it. But see, I'm not worried. You guys see, I'm not worried. So many people think it's like rebellion, like I'm just out trying to cause problems or trying to cause disruptions or trying to hurt other people. You guys see, that example is proof that's the contrary. I'm like, if it's was causing a disruption or making you feel worse, or maybe lowering the audio quality so that some of you guys can't understand what I'm saying anymore or hear what I'm saying, or you guys see, like, I actually am even preemptively changed it because I'm like, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. But I'm like, hey, you know what, you guys can still see it. It's what is the actual purpose behind my actions? Do you guys see what is the actual purpose behind my action? I'm like, I don't need to have it right there. You guys can still see it. That gets the message across, and it should minimize or avoid any problem. Yet I'm telling you, there's people around me and other people throughout my life that would have been like, there he is again, just trying to cause intentional problems and rebellion right now. Because they're not free. They're not healed. Whenever something presents, they always respond the same way. They can't choose. They react based on a must. They need to do something or else they're going to suffer or they're going to have problems. Do you guys understand? Like, if right now I tell all of you, like, hey, you're not good at something, like let's say like LinkedIn or YouTube or streaming or whatever, a lot of you might be like, oh, well, do you know how many people watched my last stream? How many people watched yours? You guys understand? We always view that as like, maybe they're cocky or they're arrogant. I'm saying what that is, guys, is they don't have a choice. They're not healed. They're not free. So when that presents, the severity is extreme. And then what happens next? This is really good. what happens next is they get reminded of negatives of when these things happen in the past. And when they do that, they have to counter it a set way. And that's the counter that they create that makes them feel like they reclaim control of the narrative, that feels stronger and feels powerful and makes them temporarily shielded. But you guys see that means that they're not free. They have to do something. They need to do something. They're limited. It's a requirement. Their reaction is predetermined. But you see, like, if I can present that to you, any of you, at the correct time, you all might be like, well, it's all about the viewers. And you might not have even cared about or thought about that at all until this point, now that I've brought it up. Do you guys see? That means that anyone else you're interacting with might now start thinking about that too, because they might look up to that person. Do you guys see how it creates the chain reaction? One thing to the next? That's a positive for me now. You guys understand? That's a freaking positive for me now. And that's how we can just create more things for ourselves. But I'm telling you, there would be so many people in this world that would think that is a negative. I'm telling you, it's a positive for myself, but it should be for everyone. It's a sign of freedom. Why is it a bad thing? And people are like, well, now that you've explained it this way, now it's a good thing. I'm like, so wait, it was a bad thing before, but now it's a good thing? You guys see, that tells you that people aren't free. But that's the bait that we all get trapped in, is that only when people align with us do things operate well. If they don't, they don't. And I'm saying you still want to avoid the people who are intentionally not aligning with you. Because what I said earlier, they were built and designed to be your enemies. You guys understand? That's real. Like, even I now see it. I'm like, damn, I was built and designed to be so many people's villains and enemies because of everything I'm saying right now. You guys understand? This goes against every single person who is completely enslaved to the capitalistic viewpoint, to money, to externals, to all those things. I was literally created to be their enemy and their villain from day one. Yet I'm just trying to heal people. I'm just trying to make people be free and believe. But wait, I'm doing this. So once if I know that, can I change my behavior too? Yet, can't they also change their behavior if they are healed and free? They're like, hey, we know why you chew with your mouth open, or you talk sometimes when chewing. It's because you believe in break conditioning, and it's just a reinforcement for freedom. You're not programmed to do anything. It doesn't bother us either anymore. If anything, we should be able to do that too. You guys see, if everyone's just free, doesn't mean that they're like, ah. I'm like, oh, I'm like, today I'm using the video game example. Like today I'm playing with this person. I remember that they had installed in them that vulnerability. That's a weakness for them, and they've defeated it. But I'm like, I know that no matter what. Remember what I told you guys? The little sprout appears. I'm like, I don't need to make the sprout appear for them. So I'm just gonna choose not to do something that I know is a positive for myself now, but I won't do it. Do you guys see, like, ideally, we don't need to learn other people's vulnerabilities. It's not actually necessary. We shouldn't be discussing them. We shouldn't be worried about them. We just all need to heal, and we all need to get to the point where we can choose our reaction. We don't have to respond a certain way by must, out of protection. We can just be calm. We're not worried. We feel safe because there's no time limit. There's no need. So, do you guys understand? If you heal and you remove time limits and you remove needs and you take away punishments and requirements, you really come full circle. Then everyone can be free. So, how do we make things feel like a repeat kill? I just gave you guys the answer. A repeat victory. They're like, well, we won last time. Why do you guys think just to use an example, and it's also cool. It's a progress check-in for myself. This is another thing that you guys can do once in a while. Do a little progress check-in. What's a progress check-in? Just proof that you've overcome things, that you've come farther. It's still better to avoid these things, just so people understand, because you know in the past they've attached little poison tendrils to them. All right, so that means that they can start negative paths that can lead you down to problems, which before forced you to counter a certain way to protect yourself. So what's the best path? Not doing that. But I just want people to understand that I know that I've defeated it, yet I still am careful. But this is the right time. So I think about Germany. For anyone who's watched soccer or who's heard of soccer, Germany is one of the top teams in soccer. They've been for years and years and years. So what does that mean? It means that there's external pressures that have been created, expectations, needs, limits, time, requirements, and punishments. If they don't perform, coaches getting fired, all those things. Do you guys understand? They've won World Cups, and always after they win the World Cup, barely any teams can ever recreate the success. You guys understand why? It's because now they're trapped to that. They're enslaved to that. What worked last time, how it happened, what happened, but also now if they ever don't perform the same way, all the players go into it being like, I need to be at my best. And like, if they just were free and calm, and not worried, and just performed, they're like, hey, let's just have fun with it this time. I'm telling you guys, they're going to perform better. They're going to be a better team. But they always would lose in the group stages because they were so worried about it. Do you guys understand? They were not free anymore. And guess what? The journalists, like the news, everyone was just pressuring them, attacking them. And you guys see, they're not free. There's the needs, the limits, the requirements, the punishments. They were never going to succeed anymore. Do you guys understand? And it's easy to say, well, they shouldn't care about that, but it's not easy because they're just paying attention to feedback. That's why I said feedback is irrelevant, guys. They should have just done their own thing. So for the people who don't know like video games, think of it like that, okay, guys? For myself, I conceptualize this through a repeat kill. How can we make something feel like a repeat kill or repeat victory before we've actually even won? That's the caveat that I'm going to add. How can we do so? Well, what you guys are going to realize is that the first time we try something, we, at the beginning, if you listen to all this knowledge I'm sharing with all of you, is that you go into it free. You go into it open-minded. You go into it exploring. You go into it feeling like, I don't need to do anything. It's something new. It's a new challenge. It's a new experience. I'm most likely not going to be able to win. I'm most likely not going to be able to succeed. Let's just see what happens. And should be fun. I hope it's challenging. I hope it's cool. I hope there's new things. I can't wait to see what it's going to be about. And that's how it begins. If you already are fairly healed and you understand how to be free. But what you guys are going to notice is that depending on our performance and depending on the execution and the events that start happening, so that changes extremely quickly. So at first we're like, well, it's the first time we're trying it and we don't have more tools than what we probably should have, which means that it's almost impossible that we'll win, theoretically, right? So we thought we might even go into it lose, and we're going to lose and it's going to go horrible and whatever, right? But what if it actually starts going well? What if good progress starts happening? What if it's like, whoa, we could actually maybe succeed. We could maybe win. Could we win the whole thing? Could we go all the way? Could we overcome this challenge the first try? Is this possible? I'm like, we're learning a lot actually. And if maybe the mistakes that do happen are so minor. So to use the soccer example, hey, maybe we got one goal again, so we won 2-1, but we still won. You guys see something like that? So in the video game, I'm like, maybe we lost some characters on our team, but we revived them, or we uh we 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 lost one thing, but we countered somewhere else. Like I think like in League of Legends, hey, we lost Dragon, but we got the Rift Herald or Void Grubs, something of that nature. Do you guys see like so? There's almost like a counterbalance that happens, and nothing really terrible happened. It's just like yeah, some bad happened, but we're still okay. The punishment is minor. Do you guys get it? There's no major requirements. There's no like time limit. There's no like things are going well. So all of a sudden, what you guys are going to notice is our requirements change, our field change. We start becoming enslaved because now the possibility of success of the outcome, the story outcome, now becomes a very real possibility. All of us begin, if we learn all this knowledge and to protect ourselves, thinking like, well, there's not really a possibility to win the first try, for example. Just use the first try example. But then, if all of a sudden it seems like it could be, what you're going to realize is you start taking more risks. You start playing a little differently. You start walking a little differently. You might actually get mad at someone if you're on a team or if you're doing it with a group of people. It's like, what do you, it's like, wait, I thought, why did we care? Like, what's going on, guys? I thought we said we wouldn't. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, they almost need to get reminded and like snapped out of it to be like, wait, focus. What are you guys doing? It's like, it's because all of a sudden it's possible. When we don't think something is possible, remember what I said, guys, if you're just laying in bed and you're like, well, I'm not streaming, I'm not even trying to stream right now, it doesn't matter. You can get reminded of things, anything can present. Doesn't matter. I'm like, I already gave up. The stream is still going. He said 3 hours. Well, I'm not even talking, or I might just, they might hear me whistling from my bed, but I'm not even on the camera. Do you guys see? It doesn't matter then. But what if you did that and people all of a sudden you heard people like they're like I don't know, like there's a feedback response that could happen, and people, if people are enjoying it, maybe you're a really good whistler, and people, and you can hear that. It's like, whoa, we're getting a feedback response that we're doing good, and you were laying in bed and you're like, wait, maybe people just want to listen to me whistle. So then you come back over here and you're like, you see comments like on the stream, it's like, whistle more, you're awesome. I'm like, okay, and you keep going. Do you guys see? We get lost. It's all of a sudden seems doable. It seems feasible. Whereas when we first were starting, I'm like, I'm just trying to, because what is really like when we're doing a progression, we're trying a new thing, we're trying to learn it. You guys see, like, that's what protects us. I'm like, well, let me learn the mechanics. Let me learn how everything functions. So I'm like, well, what does this do over here? I'm like, oh, so I have to like get a little closer and then I have to back up a little bit, get a little closer and then back up a little bit. And you guys see, like, we create an intentional mistake early, our success criteria, and we're free. We're not worried. Like, there's nothing enslaving us. But then all of a sudden, what if actually we can win? We get farther and farther and farther. I'm telling you guys, the risks start upping. Our feeling starts changing. And anything that starts causing mistakes or preventing us or potentially making us lose out on something, we start, what I told you guys earlier is that that's how they make other people become slavers. Because then I'm going to be like, you need to stop dying. What are you doing? You're the problem. And I'm like, why does that matter? I thought we didn't care about that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's only attempt one. What are you worried about? We get to retry it again. It's going to be a fun fight. Dark Falls Dalian. Now we learned the unique mechanics. The vehicle Malagos shooting thing. Who cares? We're free now. It's going to be fun. I think it might be doable now that we know the strategies. Next time. but it might not. We might need a little bit of a power boost. You see, hear how I'm talking about it. It's someone else will be like, I can't believe we didn't win. Should have won. And you just like, they get consumed. And they're like, well, next time if we try again, I need people to have these requirements. I only actually, you know what? I only want to do this with people who've already done it before. That's hilarious. Think about that, guys. Right? In anything in life, personal or professional. All of a sudden, they're like, I only want to do this with people who've done it before. I don't want a newbie. I don't want someone who has no experience. Does that sound familiar to you guys? Work, dating, video games, rating. I remember like in World of Warcraft, people would literally, I used to play World of Warcraft. People would say, we're looking for like a healer or a damage dealer or something like that. And they would actually say, I need you to link. So I need you to share that you've already succeeded at whatever I'm trying to do. So think of like a little dungeon. Like, hey, you explore like this castle fortress, and you have to defeat like a dark phoenix at the end. Link the achievement that proves that you've defeated the dark phoenix. Otherwise, you're not allowed to be in my group. Think of it like that, guys. For all of you, and you guys have an example of that, a personal one. I'm telling you guys, I didn't understand why people became that way, and now I do. It's because all of a sudden, maybe they originally tried and they were free, right? There was no promise, but then they created promise for them, right? They got punished. So then they made them think that they lost for a reason. So then now they have new requirements based on that. So you see all their reactions and responses are because of that. Now they enslave everyone else. So now there's never going to be that feeling of safety anymore. There's no repeat kill. Even if it's a new experience, they're never going to allow that. Anyway, you guys see, like, we all lose that. And I'm saying the answer is to do everything what I just didn't do, which is, hey guys, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like, I'm actually kind of excited. Normally I don't like telling them what I'm going to do, but I think I'm actually going to, I feel I'm taking a lot of risks, which is something I need to pay attention to, actually. I'm taking a lot of risks, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing right now. I really don't. I'll decide at the end. So I'm saying there's a multiplayer game that I play that I've completely defeated caring about winning or losing anymore, because there was a time period where they were enslaving me through making me get frustrated at losses. But I might just try telling people, hey guys, it just doesn't matter if we win or lose at all. And I know there's a little bit of risk there because I'm going to do so in the game mode of that is all about winning. That has a rank, so I'm going to probably piss off a lot of people, but everyone who does, that means that I'm triggering that response in them. Do you guys understand? That makes them care, that made them care so much about winning, right? Like it got attached to something, like maybe that's their worth or something like that. And now they're putting limits and needs and like they have to be best. But just giving people almost like permission, like, hey guys, it's okay. Whatever happens, let's just explore. Let's try. There's no time limit. There's no need. Doesn't matter what happens. Hey, whatever presents, we get to choose, not them. And I'm curious to see. I don't know if it will result in the best, like I said, because if they're not healed and they're not free, I do worry. Or worry is the wrong word. I'm not worried. I do think that there's a possibility that there's going to be people that react negatively. But I'm going to test it out, because you guys know what? That's how you actually learn. You experiment. I'm like, well, let's see what happens. If I do that, will people actually play worse or get angry and maybe start attacking, and or maybe just refuse to like cooperate and be a team player? Maybe. Do you guys see, like, I experiment. I try things out. Because I'm trying to figure out, like, how can you create that because I know how to create it. Just so you guys understand, I really do know how to make people feel free. But I'm saying it's with random people. Like if it's a set group, like an organization, a guild that I would be looking to build, I know how to do so, guaranteed. I know how to make them feel safe because that means that they have a think of it like a home that they return to, and every time they return, it doesn't matter when they make mistakes. Do you guys understand? They're gonna see me again, and if they make a mistake, I'm just like, it's cool. Don't sweat it. No problem. There's no limits. There's no needs. There's no time. There's no requirements. There's no punishments. We're good. But when it's just a one-time thing, can we actually make people feel safe and free? I don't know. And I'm going to experiment. But I'm telling you guys, if you're a person right now who has other people around them that you can create a repeat situation. You don't need to create a situation where you all align and you only pamper them and say that they're good no matter what. You just need to make them feel safe. And to make them feel safe, we just have to give them freedom. How do we give them freedom? No time limits, no needs. You don't need to do anything, no requirements, no punishments at all. What you're going to realize then is then people feel free. You don't even have to give excessive praise at all. You don't. It's just when people feel freedom, they're calm. They're not worried. Do you guys understand? When you're not worried, you just do because you don't think of it like we have focuses, guys. Okay, I say we have 3 focuses. I'm saying that whenever we're doing something new, one of our focuses is there, and that is actually one of the ways to protect ourselves because one of our focuses is there. But imagine if what happens is so one of our focuses is on doing new, but the second focus then becomes I need to get it right because I'm worried about something. And they install that. And they try desperately, just so everyone understands, to attach as many things as possible to that. I use a universal getting it right, but there's a million little things. Do you guys understand? It could be just I need to make a set amount of money because otherwise my wife's going to think I'm a loser. It could be something like that, guys. Sorry, I don't mean to start pats for people, but I'm really trying to hammer in with very common sense examples so people get it. You guys need to figure this out. It's absolutely necessary because this is how they do it to us. So if one of your focuses on that means on anything new that you try. If you have to pay attention to the worry, if there's anything else that you have focusing on in your life, so that means what if there's sounds around you? Music playing, noise, anything. That's the third focus. If you guys get reminded of anything, if I walk by and say, hey, how's Shepherd Star doing? And his Shepherd Talisman, his Griever necklace from Final Fantasy VIII. That you guys get it. Now that becomes a fourth focus, which means one of the 3 is going to get moved out temporarily. And when that happens, problems arise. It's as simple as that's all it takes. Do you guys get it? Because 2 of your focuses are permanently occupied, doing new, or creating something, or exploring, or designing, whatever. And if you're worried by their requirements, their limits, their time, but I guess really that's what I'm going for is I guess time is one and need is the other. So there's the need of the story outcome and the time limit. Interesting. I always viewed it as one, but now that I'm thinking about it, that makes sense. Because, for example, just so you guys know, there's like these challenging encounters in Fantasy Star Online, another video game that I play sometimes, and they have a 10-minute time limit. And once in a while, self-created limits can be really good because they can add difficulty if you know why you're doing it. If they're not just added to prevent people from doing things. If it's created for the right reason, but you guys see like there's no real punishment, you can just try again. If you only could try this encounter once a year and it had a 10-minute time limit, that would be really bad. Do you guys understand? That would be really, really bad. So what I realized is once in a while in that encounter at the 7-minute mark, they say 3 minutes remaining. And every single time that popped up, if I destroy this, but I didn't realize what it was before, my play would all of a sudden get affected. And I'm like, why? Because we had made it farther along, and now we thought it was possible that we could maybe achieve. We were maybe going to win. And now when they said 3 minutes, I'm like, oh gosh. See, like it brought back that focus of the time limit. I had forgotten about it. It wasn't present anymore. And they brought it back. And I had previously failed or lost because I didn't make the time limit. So it brought back that focus, that I'm gonna call it a fear, but it really wasn't fear, but it's just like that worry. You guys see, like then I wasn't free anymore. The freedom feeling was gone. I wasn't calm anymore. It doesn't mean that I still didn't execute well, but my performance did go down a little bit. Do you guys understand? Or until I kind of defeated it, because now they re-added that focus, and now I was. And sometimes, like you guys get it. Once you're free, when that pops up, you're like, "Oh, that's cool. We're good. We're good on time." When you're free, when you're calm, when you're not worried, and you're healed, the time that timer is actually just a neutral. It's not positive, but it's not negative. But when you're not, it actually creates that feeling that removes the freedom. And I'm telling you, if you're doing it with a group or an organization, all someone has to say is that reminder. And when that happens, you feel a certain way, and then you react and respond a certain way. You can't deviate. That's how they do it. I'm like, now I get it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really what it is. I'm like, time limit is one focus, and the need for an outcome. What's the need for the outcome? Could be just victory, just defeating this encounter. And as possibility seems more doable, it's more powerful. Because when it's not possible, you're like, eh. But all of a sudden, people said, hey, you whistle really well, and you come back with this, and you're starting to stream, and 2 hours in, and people, you guys get it. Now it seems possible. Now that's a focus again. When it's not possible, it's not a focus. But when it's possible, now it's a focus. Then they add in the time limit and needs and requirements. That means if anything else presents, guys, anything, all it takes is a reminder. All it takes is a reminder of anything. I could be like, hey guys, what's that song from? I don't know. I'm just gonna use Final Fantasy. I'm like from that Alexander raid, forward and back. People are like, what? And that's it. That alone temporarily removes one of the focuses. And I'm telling you guys, it's usually not the fear or the worry about the time limit or the outcome. It's usually just being calm, exploring new. So that one gets temporarily removed. So then now you don't feel like it's a new thing anymore. Do you guys understand? Now you guys don't think it's new anymore. Now what you care about is the main two focuses are time and outcome. So now it's like, I need to win. Like, I'm like, we didn't care about that 10 minutes, 7 minutes ago. Why is it now all of a sudden it matters? Because they removed the focus of, hey, it's just we're exploring new, we're trying something new. Now it matters. Now we're not free anymore. And this is how they make each and every one of you, if you're not healed and know this knowledge, enslave everyone else. And if they know, especially the more things you're not healed, if they know all your reminders, you guys are guided by all of them. This means I could literally spend one day with all of you and I can learn most of them, which means that if at any point I went to your job, any of you, or when you're playing sports or doing anything that requires 1% execution, I know exactly what to say and I can guarantee the outcome, because I will make you make mistakes. I will take away your freedom temporarily. And there's nothing you can do, because none of you are healed and none of you understand that you're enslaved to time, to the need of an outcome and requirements. So we need to remove that, guys. I'm just like, you know what? We're going to modify attempt 2. We're going to modify our second creation. Who cares about the feedback? Who cares about any of that, what people say? It doesn't matter. It's just an experiment. There's no rhyme or reason. We know why we're doing it, yet the result doesn't matter because we're not trying to hurt people. And if we find out that it does, we will change immediately because we actually have good intent. If we don't, then you know that either they're not healed, they're not free, or they have bad intent, because it means that they need something external. to reward them and give them comfort. They need that. I'm telling you guys, we should all do everything possible to create freedom. Today is the day that humanity wakes up and realizes no more time limits, no more needs, no more requirements, no more punishments. That means no more money costs. That means that you let anyone on your team be free. Can you all do that? There are no more mistakes. Doesn't matter. Changes everything. People are like, but we wasted a whole night of progression. Let's just call it like that. We were trying to succeed at something and nothing happened. What a waste. I'm like, on the contrary. Now, telling you guys, if there are people that are created in your circle or your vicinity or on your team that were created to be enemies, what are enemies? People that intentionally refuse. Okay, so you're trying to make everyone feel free to just play and do or explore or create, and there's people that are intentionally stopping that or trying to like cause problems. Those are enemies. Do you guys understand? They're literally enemies. You need to get you need to get those away. And most of them, for you guys who are still trapped in the game of business, they attach it to people who are performing, and they become your enemies because they're destroying everyone else. They take away everyone else's freedom. Those people are enemies because they refuse. It's interesting, right? Anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm telling you guys, you think it's doable. You think it's possible. And then we get enslaved again. So, how can we create a feeling of safety? Through a question. Do I have to do this now? And why? Do I have to do this now? And why? Creates safety when we start deciphering it and tracing back the root, because it changes how we respond to disruptions. That's really the benefit of this. That's what creates safety. Safety is essentially the way we respond to a disruption. That's what safety is. Safety is the way we respond to disruption. When disruption happens, and if we can respond calm, do you guys understand? It means we're safe. How can we get to that feeling to respond that way? Well, we say, do I have to do this now? And why? Think about it, guys. Because you see, that's what that does is it attacks time limits. It attacks the need. It attacks the requirements. It attacks the punishment. Remember what I said, guys, way before about the lie. It doesn't matter what gets presented anymore to me. But do I have to still go to the lion right now? I might not need to, or I might know it's not going to be as bright. I can wait, but I can still choose to. But you guys see, like, I'm exploring it. Do I have to do this now, and why? So what you guys are all going to realize is that you can start asking yourself everything in your life, every area. Do I have to do this now, and why? Some of them you're going to realize, hey, they are a requirement, or I might need to. But the question then again is, why right now? Because even a deviation of 1 minute is immense. Do we understand? A deviation of even 20 seconds is immense. I just think about it like, hey, do I have to feed my dogs at 7:30? Do I have to? Why? Why can't I deviate? Why can't I react differently? Why can't I respond differently? It's that simple, guys. Why? Why do I have to do it right now? I'm not saying it's rebellion. On the contrary, it's freedom. You have to, once you explore this, you're like, what is it that makes me feel like I have to do this right now? And I'm telling for most of you what it is they remind you of things. They create paths that bring you back to where it was originally installed, but you don't even realize that. For most of you, it's they created it through fear, through punishments, through other requirements, through other people taking away, telling you you had to do things a certain way, and by installing time limits. You guys understand the danger? This is so critical, by the way. The danger of other people around us enslaving us because they got enslaved. Because then they create new events that can people always get reminded of that enslave them every single time. So I'm like, why do I have to feed my dog at 7:30? Because oh, my mom did that for her dog, or when we had pets. And if I didn't, or if someone didn't, she got mad at them and yelled at them and punished them, maybe grounded them or whatever. Do you guys understand that that's why you do it now? Every single person, like who has those like strict set time things that they have to do it right now, those requirements, and they don't understand why. They don't even think like what's wrong with them. Like there really isn't anything wrong with it. Do you guys understand? There's nothing wrong with it. But where the problem arises is that you have to do it, and if you don't, you enslave other people. So if someone doesn't feed their dog at 7:30 and you believe that it has to be that way, the moment that happens, you guys enslave other people. Then you start putting the time limits and needs on them and requirements and punishments. And that's how the chain reaction and then gets created. Now the next person's like, oh, well, my girl yelled at me when I didn't feed our dogs at 7:30. So yeah. Hey, you guys, why don't you guys feed your dogs at set hours? What's wrong with all of you? Do you guys see how it's done? Think about it. Like in parenting, this is how they do it, guys. This is how they've enslaved all of us to never deviate, to never explore, to never try ever again. Because the moment any of you do, they had someone put limits on you, attack you, create problems, needs, requirements, punishments, and then you're like, well, that's how I had to do it. So then you put it on someone else. And you guys see it just keeps chaining. So it means whoever created it originally doesn't even remember that they were the source of all these problems. And now they created all of these problems. Now everyone's not free anymore. And I'm telling you guys, then you guys never heal it. So it's always severe. This is basically just so people understand another way of talking about generational trauma. But terms don't matter. This is really what it is. It's just, are you healed and are you free? It's just that simple. And how you can do it is just, do I have to do this now? Do I have to do this now? And why? If you are like, why are you being a rebel? Think about it. Like if you say that to your boss and they respond that way, that tells you they're not healed and they're not free. It's just that simple. It exposes that they're not healed and they're not free. Because I'm like, well, yeah, we don't have to do this now. But let me explain to you why I think it could be a good idea, why we should try to do this right now. But if it deviates a little bit, it's fine. Actually, if anything, that would be good. It means that we're going into it free. Do you guys see? Like, if anything, if someone said that to all of us, we should be happy. We should be encouraged. I'm like, yeah, that means your creation is going to even be better. Yay! And then they're like, why? Why do we have to do it right now? I'm like, we don't. You see, because that's why this creates safety immediately in anything. Because if we ask, why do we have to do this now? And why? There is no why. Do you guys understand? There is never a why that justifies why you have to do something right now, ever, in anything. If you have to, you're enslaved. You're not free. Do you guys get it? If you ever have to do something right now, or if there's a time limit, if there's a need to create an outcome or a requirement or a punishment, it means you are enslaved. You are a slave. You are a slave. You are a slave. Are you a slave? If all of you can't answer the question, why do I have to do this now and why? It's for every single thing in your life, and you can't just choose. You are today a slave. That's why you guys don't feel safe, because you're not free. You can't just do your way. You can't create freely. You don't have good intent. And everything around you is enslaving you. You must ask, why do I have to do this now and why? Because once you break that down, each and every one of you, for every area in your life, when that happens, you're like, you know what? The only reason why I would do, let's say the game that I'm gonna play later, the only reason why I need to go there right now is because if I don't, well, we might like lose what I call like a tower in those games. Like they protect our base. We might lose a tower, and that means we might be more likely to lose. But technically, we don't need to. We could actually walk a different path, and maybe we can like push a lane further. Like some of like we could create a little disruption over there, and then it'll force them to respond to us as well. So wait, that means we don't actually have to go to that other place. No, we don't have to. But it probably is a mistake if we don't. We might lose. So you see, that means that if we answer that way, you guys see, what are we actually enslaved to? Well, I need to do so because I care about winning. What about we just try to see what happens if I do this other path? Oh, we might lose. Are we enslaved to losing or winning? I'm like, no, but I kind of want to win. I'm like, okay, then well, you know what? Let's go there. But we can wait 5 seconds, right? Like, yeah. You guys see, it doesn't mean that it takes away like good paths or positive paths or negative paths. It's just you start understanding it. It all makes sense. Are you guys starting to piece this together? Why that question is so powerful? Because it changes how we respond to disruptions then. Now we are in control of it. Because I'm like, actually, you know, I'm not enslaved. I'm still going to choose to go back right now and go over there and handle that. I don't care if we win or lose. We're probably would have been better to cause the disruption because they might have not known what to do if they see us pushing. But yeah, but you all have to get to the point where you can talk that through. And I'm saying right now, if any of you, if I challenge any of you, or if you guys do ask that question to your boss or to anyone, an authority figure, someone you believe is an expert or has hierarchy over you, I promise all of you that they are going to get threatened. They are going to react negatively. And that tells you they're not healed and they're not free. They're enslaved to their own things and they have other things that are present to them that make them feel that way. We all need to be asking this for anything. I'm like, why do I have to do this right now and why? If I can't deviate, if I can't change my path, then I'm at risk. I'm not saying that sometimes we can't choose to do so, but we have to be able to choose. All right. Let's do this. So, if you guys listen to all that, then you're ready to be free. I've hammered it in a million times. Like, I don't even want to know how many times I said these words, but time, need, like all this. But that's all it is, guys. And I challenge all of you to practice with things that have less severe punishments at first. That's why I encourage all of you video games or something like that, because it's a lot easier to practice it there than to practice it like if your mom has been like an authority figure or your dad or like a boss or something like that. Like it's much more challenging there. Do you guys understand? So practicing it in areas where okay, well maybe you just lose something in the game. It's not a big deal. But it'll feel that way, and you can start understanding those feelings of what happens. Basically, you're practicing creating the little sprout, and what you do then You guys see, like, you start practicing that, you start understanding it. And once you do, when it happens then to you in uh, the outside world circumstances, you guys are then in control. You're free. You can freely choose, and you're not reacting based on a must or what they've installed, and you're reacting just based on, hey, I'm free, I'm calm, I'm healed. You guys got this. So I'm gonna get a snack, and then we're gonna finish. It's gonna be a push. We're gonna go with a little less detail, which is good because this part is gonna be very heavy. Um, so it's good that people, we don't need to consume people, but I want them to know this stuff as well. I'm sure we're going to touch upon it again. So the next segment that we're going to talk about is the price of freedom. Now you guys know everything you need to do to consistently be free. There's a price to it. It's not fun. All right, we all want to get to that, but I want people to understand the realities of it. There is a price to freedom. Doesn't mean you can't consistently get there, but there's a price to it. And we're going to talk about what happens once you're there, the solutions to fight back, to protect yourself, and the problems that happen to try to defeat your solutions. And then we're going to end with, what's the answer? Once you know all this, once you're free. All right, I'm just going to get some more water and a quick snack, and let's do this. The price of freedom. Most of us want to get to a location without paying a price. The reason why I'm doing all this, just so people are aware, is because I believe that that's how it should be. Many of us have been, I'm going to use the word indoctrinated, but in a good way, to understand that there's value to a climb, to a journey, to progress. If we just get it handed to us, if right now I just say, hey, guys, here's a German Lebkuchen, a pastry, German pastry. We enjoy it, but it doesn't feel as rewarding. We didn't really have a battle to get to it. But if I say, hey, the reason why I'm letting you eat this today, you who's listening, or myself who's doing the stream, is because you've done a great job over these 3 hours with this video and the stream about how we can feel free. And this is your reward because you've overcome so much. You've dealt with so much. You've handled everything so well. I'm proud of you. Here you go. Also, that next bite feels even better. What I told you guys, it only feels that way until you're free. It doesn't mean it's ever not going to feel satisfying. But it's just like, oh, cool. Because you understand you're always trying to get that. You create it for yourself. You create your own limits. You create your own challenges. You create your own scenarios, your own story, your own situations, your own progress metrics, your own external criteria, what this determines the victory and what we're going for, your own purpose, your own story. So it means you don't need something else to create bad for you anymore. You don't need something else to create the bad for you. Because for most of us, I mean, just so you guys understand, what I'm trying to make all of you realize is that the majority of bad things that have happened in your life, but that you guys still experience in every storyline you guys have currently active, is only there to make you have problems for you to overcome and solve, so that you learn new things, experience new things, so that you evolve. Some of them are really bad, but I'm saying that each one of those things is just meant to develop you and evolve you. Most of them are not meant to get you to a game over, just so all of you understand. They're not. But they're meant to cause you enough problems to spur you on. We got this. So that you keep marching forward. So you learn how to handle it, so that you grow, so that you can become something beyond whatever your previous limits. And I'm saying that something in this world has created a set path for all of us that makes us believe that we have to go through those things to develop those things or encounter those things. And I'm saying that's not necessary. Once you're fully healed and you're fully free, you realize if you're calm and other people let you do those things and operate that way, that each and every one of us could create something equivalent to what I just did today and have done with all my content recently in our own version of it. Not the same, but you guys, we would all be able to create something like this, completely free, believing, teaching, educating, guiding, something that we're passionate at without necessarily even a reward. The reward is doing this and figuring out itself. Do you guys understand? Anything else that comes from is a side benefit. And I'm saying we don't need bad to get to it. Most of the time, just so people are aware, my battle is there's things that are causing bad to me on a daily, consistent basis. And there's lessons that I get from that. And I try to actually not pay attention to those, because I'm saying that usually those are not the answer. Because what I've realized is that I get to better and more. And who's grading? Myself. I'm saying it based on everything I know and everything I've learned, when it's actually just through my positives and through self-created situations. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like, let's say I'm playing a video game, right? And it's experience, but I'm like, what am I going through in the experience? Like the underlying. And I'm saying like, maybe my character is like losing temporarily, but I'm like, I'm learning something. You guys see it? Like, it's not really a major punishment at all. So I'm saying we don't need major terrible things to happen to us to grow and to learn, to experience, and to become more. We don't. So that's what I'm fighting against, just so you guys know, because I will tell you, one thing that is true, as much as I hate that it is that if we had to overcome all those things to get to the result, it's always going to make the result feel more rewarding. That's real, guys. You understand? It's a journey. I'm saying if you can create your own challenges and you can make it so that you can barely win, but you still win by yourself, it feels the same way. And you didn't need to have all these horrible things happen to you to get there. I'm telling all of you. So, anyway, that's real, guys. I want people to understand that the journey of progress to make something feel rewarding. But we shouldn't be reliant on that. It's something we should all strive to believe in, right? We shouldn't choose the easy paths. We shouldn't choose to um, skip progress, right? We shouldn't try to go from the beginning to the end right away. We should always be doing the progress climb, the whole journey. That's real, guys. Just so people know. Like if right now I told you guys, hey, if you take a one bite of this and then a sip of water, you will all be able to stream for 4 hours about any topic and explain it in any way of your choosing. Not my way, but your way, the way you guys would want to do it, the way you would wish you could right now, the way you guys envision. If you take one bite of this Lebkuchen and one sip of water, you guys can do so. Here you go. You can do it. I'm saying that's not the correct play. You see, at no point am I saying how it feels, like the effort, the reward. That's not what I'm talking. That part, that's real, guys. The more you go through, it's always going to feel more rewarding. That's just real. That's real. Okay. What I'm arguing, what I'm debating, what I'm explaining, what I'm presenting is that we should never skip steps. We should just explore all the steps. That does. I mean, one step could literally be 5 seconds. You understand? You might just literally be like, "Oh, nope," or "Wow, that's cool." Oh, wow, there's actually a lot here. I'm saying you just don't skip any steps. You play through the whole game. And you're going to experience and see everything, both good and bad, both amazing and not amazing. You don't have to skip any steps. So all of you today, just I'm not going to go on a rant about it because I know they've got me to do that in the past. But just think about like AI. None of you should be using AI today at all. The only time once you get to the point where you can, and who am I to? I'm not limiting. I'm not needing. I'm just saying once you get there, once you guys can create something like this, your equivalent, what I'm doing right now, you guys is equivalent in any field. At that point, then you guys can now choose because then if you create an AI, you're like now you can even you know what you're capable of, and now you see what AI is capable of, and you guys are going to be like, what? They can never create what I can create ever. It can never do so. It can never do so. Even if it can create something pretty good, it could never do this ever. It just can't. And once you guys see that, you're going to realize, wait a minute, I don't need it. If for some reason I wanted to do something that maybe like I can't yet, but then I'm like, interesting. Like, what if I wanted to translate this into German so that my mom can listen to it? Well, sure, there's benefits, but then you guys see like, wait, why are we doing it? Why are we trying to skip steps? Wouldn't there be a whole journey for me to try to figure out how I can now do this in German? That's be extremely challenging and it would be quite a journey. It would take an excessive amount of time. But you guys see, I'm like, well, if there are no time limits, no requirements, I can choose to do so. I might be able to do so in 10 years, but that's when I'll be able to do so. If I used AI, I'd be able to do so tonight. You guys get it? This is one of the prices of freedom, is that you realize that. So when you see other people skipping steps of progress, you're like, what are you guys doing? Because they just don't get it. They don't understand the dangers of it. But also, like, that's just life. You guys understand? It's just progress. Hey, I'll be able to create one of these in German or Spanish in 10 years. People are like, well, why not just be able to do it today? You can with AI. And I'm like, you're going to help so many more people heal if you can explain these things in Spanish and German. And it translates your voice automatically. You don't even have to try. I'm like, yeah, but it's not the same. but you could heal more people. I'm like, yeah, so that means I'm enslaved to that. Do you guys see? It's a need, it's a must, it's a limit, it's a requirement. What if instead someone else who already can speak Spanish really well or German really well? I'm not saying that I can't, but I can explain something like this. They hear all this stuff and they decipher it, and then they can do so themselves. Then they can explain, but maybe instead of explaining it like this, they explain it through like they write a story, or they create a story in a video game and they do it in Spanish or German. I don't know, right? But you guys see, like, there's other ways. But then now that creates a path for the other person to do so. And that is all taken away if we use things to skip progress. You guys are going to enjoy the journey more when you're free and you're healed. You're not rushing anymore. And there are parts that you're going to be like, yeah, this part's not good. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need that. This is not for us. This part is poison for us. Actually, it has negative reminders here. Let's just skip this or move on quickly. You realize that, and that's fine. You guys understand? You're not skipping steps. You learn. You learn from your mistakes. You're not doing things that you don't need to. You all must get to this. But this is one of the prices of freedom, is that you guys see this. But it also makes it so that you slow down a lot. Just so people understand, you slow down so much that everyone else is go, 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 super fast, all about the best, all about winning, all about external. And you're the opposite. I call this, right? We flip the world upside down. So at any point it changes, right? So what you're going to realize is one of the prices is that you guys don't fit in anymore anywhere. And that's a good thing. But because anyone who's not free is going to view you as a threat. Do you guys get it? So you actually, it gets a little lonely if you care about that. I'm telling you guys, if you're actually free and healed, you don't. Because remember what I said, you don't care about the feedback anymore. It doesn't mean that you're always improving things, but you don't need that anymore. But most of you right now, that's a lot, because you guys got enslaved to it. You are reliant on your cheerleaders. You guys are reliant on like a group of people to talk to and hang out to. I'm saying you guys can talk to our fellow spirits that live in our world, but that's not today's topic. If you guys are really just creating and you figure out what matters to you and what you believe in, what you're passionate about, what you're trying to do, and you don't need all that external anymore, guys. So that's one of the prices of freedom. We lose that because we slow down and everyone else goes fast. And it's just, they don't get it. So are you guys prepared to be misunderstood? If that means that you're healed and fully free and you always are calm and always can perform at a absurdly amazing level. Some people prefer to do the external rat race and to have their 50 cheerleaders tell them no matter what they do that they're amazing, no matter what. That's something you guys each have to decide. So what happens though once you're free? Right? So you're misunderstood, you're much more individual. Some people might use the term lone wolf. Terms don't matter anymore. You don't give up your hierarchy. Experts are not viewed in a good light. You don't attack them to attack them. You understand that you see what they're saying and what they're doing, and you pay attention. And what you notice is the majority of them, if not all of them, are suppressing. They're limiting. Remember what I said to you guys? What prevents freedom? Time limits, needs. So they tell other people how it has to be and what they have to do. That's how they get their status of expert. And I'm not saying what their method is bad, because that's what everyone takes it as. I'm not saying that their method is bad. I'm saying their method is one way. But when they make their way, the expert way, they start causing problems for everyone else who doesn't do it that way, because then they self-designate themselves as the greater, and then they enslave their cheerleaders and a group of people to give up all their worth to them. So then anyone who questions that person is now viewed as an enemy and attacked. So you guys see, it's this endless loop. So You see, like now you guys don't give up your authority to experts anymore, and anyone who claims to be one, you're like, and you just see like actually really what it is they just limit people. That's how they got there, and they're basing it off of other things that are like what they consider, right? Like they're not basing off their own experiences, they're basing off of research or the supposed way or what wins, because they care about that. Do you guys understand? They're enslaved. Experts, any expert, now you see that any expert is just someone who's enslaved. They're not healed. That's why they care about all those titles. And like, I mean, you guys can test it out on LinkedIn, guys. Okay. Just scroll and see anyone who has their titles or like their ranks or what they've achieved in their name. They're not healed and they're enslaved. Every single one of them, just so you guys know. It's that simple. Once you like you see that there's a price of freedom, so you guys see that. And you don't see it to be superior to them. You see it and you're just like you feel for them because you want them to be healed and to be free, because right now they think they're better than people and that's why they feel good. But if they ever got reminded of things, the correct things, they're going to be destroyed because they need those things to cover up, right? It shields them. So you see that and you feel bad for them because you're like, oh my gosh, I used to be one of you guys. I was enslaved to all these things. I cared about all these things. I'm saying once you're free, guys, you see it. And it doesn't mean that you're better than them. It just means that you're free and healed. You guys see, that has nothing to do with worth or superiority. They're completely irrelevant. Once you're free and healed, do you guys understand? You don't base things off of, I'm better than you. That doesn't matter. You guys understand? Because you don't care about the outcome. Remember what I said, guys? You don't care about the outcome anymore. Like if I'm playing a video game and I'm like, wow, I'm way better than this other person on my team. Like there's people that literally that's how they base themselves and grade themselves. Like they compare themselves to everyone on their team. Like I'm the best in my team. I'm saying you don't even care about that. It's just like, well, did we get through what we were trying to get through? Did we learn things? Did we explore? Did we create? Did we try? Like it all changes. Are you guys prepared for that? Telling you guys you can't go anywhere anymore without seeing all these things and understanding all these things. And if you watch my other videos, there's a lot more that you learn to see. You learn to see the bad and the good and when it's being presented. And that really changes things too. But right now, I want people to focus on is that it changes how you see every single person, because you can see now what they're enslaved to. You can see now that they're not free. You can see now that they're not healed. Whereas before, you guys might have actually looked up to them. Whereas before, you guys might have given up your worth to them. So that means that you're going to be walking around, guys. You see someone who's like, oh my gosh, you're a slave. I want to help you. I feel bad for you. I want you to be healed. But you guys don't understand, if you try to do that to them, they're going to take offense to it and they're going to attack you, or they're going to be threatened by you. You guys get the problem. Okay. So the next thing I want people to understand, you guys see, we just slow down once you're free. I'm putting a limit on myself for 4 hours, but that's good, because this part I could talk about for days. I know this. I could talk about this part for 10 hours. So it's actually really good that I'm limiting this part, because this part I could get consumed. I'm glad I'm destroying this, because it's just, this is my reality. Okay. And there's a lot of things that I want everyone to know. That's how it used to be. But now I'm calm about it. Before I wasn't, because I'm like, if everyone knows this stuff, then they would be free and then the world can start changing. And it's true. And now I'm calm about it. Yet, if anyone gets this far, and if anyone follows along my journey or is doing their own progress journey and seeking and evolving and trying to get to enlightenment or whatever, because terms don't matter, right? Whatever they want to call it. I call it freedom and being healed. They're going to learn a lot of things. And I'm saying I want people to be prepared because things change. I didn't think they were going to change this much when I started going on this mission to figure all this out. And I'm telling all of you, your reality changes. So, what you should be prepared for is what I've realized is when you're free, when you're fully healed, and when you learn all this knowledge, you you start understanding what was actually your choice, your path, your story, and what they made you do. I'm telling you, for most of us, if not all of us, until you break free, until you understand all this stuff, 10 out of 10 decisions and stories that you've chose and did and ended up in were chosen for you, were created for you, were placed before you, and they knew exactly what to do to make them happen. Which means that almost our entire life was predetermined and guaranteed. I'm saying that they knew exactly what to do, what to create, what to present to make the variables align. And based on your traumas, your fears, your problems, your strings, your chains, your locks, your links, everything that they do, right? How the time limits they need to do, the needs, the requirements, place the correct people in front of you, and all of us walked a specific way. I'm telling you guys, the sooner you can just be like, damn, they created all my problems, every single one. They fabricated all of them. Holy shit, every single one. And we'll talk about another day how you can rewrite all of them. But you realize I'm like, damn, okay, all right. Well, now I'm free. Now I see it. Do you see, like when you're free, you're not afraid of it anymore. But currently, you guys are gonna get to the point where you get afraid when you realize that, like, holy shit, they really control so many things. All the bad things that I experienced and all the good, they essentially chose for me. Yeah. Okay. So what you guys are gonna realize then is that if you break free, now you can choose. Remember what I said? You guys are gonna get to a point where you can see then what's being suggested to you, right? Because you see it now all. So you're like, okay, so they want me to do this story. Well, should I? Now you can base it off of everything, right? You're free, you're not worried, you're healed, but still you understand that there's risks. You're like, I'm okay if you guys present good, but I'm like, I don't know, I got beta. I see, like that's the struggle. You guys understand? Because now you're like, should I? Should I not? You guys get it? And that's something you have to break, and something you guys are all going to go through. Once you break free the first time, you are going to get enslaved because now you're going to question everything. You guys understand? That's stage 2. You question everything, and that's the correct play. We all have to go through that. We have to. So for many of you guys consider the teenage years, like the rebellion years, those stuff, that's real for every single one as an adult. When we break free and learn all this knowledge, we're all going to go through that. Each and every single one of us is necessary. You have to, because when you understand that these things wrote our stories, that means that some of you guys are right now thriving. I just want all of you to know, some of you guys right now, if you listen to this far, you're like, I don't know what's with you. I'm thriving. I'm saying, yeah, it's currently what they chose for you. But you guys understand that means that a week from now, problems can happen. And all of a sudden, that family that always runs outside with their kids, that's smiling and laughing and cheering, all of a sudden you're like, I haven't heard them anymore for like 2 weeks. I hope they're okay. And something probably happened. And now in their story, think of it like there's like a graph, okay? If you can see like the graph of our story, like it was kind of like down here, and all of a sudden, the guy and the girl, they met, and then they had kids, and then all right now they're, and then all of a sudden, the event happens, and then their graph is down here. Before they were up here, but you guys are all comparing yourself to people that are currently on this part of the graph. You guys are all comparing yourself to when they're on the Phoenix Suns, the Dark Knight, Star Diplomat. That's when you guys compare. You look at them and you compare yourself. I'm saying in their storyline that is being written for them and chosen for them, they're currently right there. They're in the winning stage, and you guys compare yourself to them. And that's what they want. Do you guys understand? Because then it destroys you. But then I'm telling you guys, if they want, they can keep people there for quite some time if they're using them to, remember what I said, to enslave other people. They usually keep certain people there if they realize they're a very good slaver. just the reality. If someone you know has stayed quote unquote successful by external metrics for an extended period of time, it usually means, I would say guarantees, it means that they're being used as a slaver. It means that they're enslaving other people. They're creating the time limits, they're creating the needs, they're creating the requirements and the punishments to make storylines. That means that they're a pawn in a chessboard that is very conveniently placed because they can create more slaves. So if you guys ever compare yourself to those people that have had extensive time period of having external successes, which don't really matter, right? But what I'm saying for all of you guys is, I don't want you guys to think that graph that's thriving is based on money or external rewards, things of that nature. Those still matter currently. That's what we're trying to defeat. But what I want all of you to pay attention to is actually, like, really, if you have to, as a guy, I'm like, do I have the girl? Do I have kids? Do I have pets? Am I happy? Are we just exploring the world? Are we living? Are we thriving? Are we trying new things? Are we healing? Are we free? That's when your graph is up here. If you guys have that already by your side, break free, and then your graph is always going to be up here. Because otherwise, what happens is at any point they want to change your story, they can just create an event, and then you guys' graph is down here, and that's it. That's how they do it. Okay. So what ends up happening is when you break free, guys, that means that they don't control your graph where it is anymore. If you're if you're thriving or you're losing, they can't, because once you realize it, because usually what it takes is, for most of you guys, what it's going to happen is you might get to this knowledge after you've experienced some absurd loss that just lined up in such a way that all of you can't comprehend it. You're like, that seems impossible. And that's how I got to this. And then I pieced it together. And I'm saying that that's what happens to most of us. But most of us then get baited down a path to think that we're crazy or insane. And I'm saying, don't ever listen to any of those stuff, right? All those medical stuff and things that try to attack your mental state, all bullshit. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's a topic for another day. So what ends up happening, guys, is that once you break free, you get to choose. That means you have no more active story. You're going to, like, think about, like, if you guys are working, you quit your job because you're like, I didn't choose it. You're right, you didn't. So now you guys are going to be able to choose whatever you want to do for yourself. And when that happens, you guys are going to notice that if they intended for you to be somewhere, that means your story is not active anymore. They need always an active story in our life. That's what I challenge all of you to explore. If you break free, try it out. Disrupt your story, whatever you're currently doing. Pay attention to what happens. All of a sudden, they are going to cause problems, which I call unavoidable rate damage. Relentless, repeated. Or if you heal, if you guys, especially if you heal, especially if once you're healed and fully free, know all this knowledge, you're going to notice, like, it's relentless problems, because what they're trying to do is the problems are usually they're attached to your old past stuff, but it's like you heal it, right? So then it's just nonstop. They keep presenting things to you because they're trying to bring it back. They're trying to install it because it used to be something that they could present to control you. If right now I'm saying, hey, you're thirsty, I'm like, okay. Just to use a crude example, just to do a little interrupt for myself and for everyone. It's like, hey, right now I feel like farting. Oh, well, I can't, my farts can't be quiet, so I'm going to walk to the kitchen and fart over there so you guys don't hear it. Just think of it like that, guys. It's just, if I know that that's how you respond to something, then I can start writing your story again like that. Do you guys get it? That's what they do. That's what our bad is meant for, and certain goods that they created, and things that we created as good. So that's what I'm saying, as inactive stories, that they're going to start throwing bad and good at you, but mostly bad, to try to get you to start having an active story. And what is actually an active story right now? I put it for all of you is, think of it like your job, because that's what it is for most of you. But what it actually is I call it a conditioning machine. A conditioning machine is something that can present info to us and create events that can move our story and can make us become more or less of something. So for most of us, think of it like if you live somewhere, your siblings, or like if you live with like your parents or like your girl, even if you quit your job, then do you guys understand? Then I'm going to make her your active story, which means that they're going to then start causing more problems with her and her storylines, or make her have conflicts with you, or make her do good things depending on what they want. That's just how it is. Do you understand? They always need an active conditioning machine to start moving your chess piece to where they want, to make you to do a story of their choosing. That's just how it is, guys. They always need an active story. And an active story is something that can condition you. So I'm telling you guys, for myself, there was a time period where my active story, my conditioning machine, I thought it was healing the world and like posting my videos and streams and posts on YouTube and LinkedIn. It wasn't that. It was they wanted me to interact with people on those websites. That was actually meant to be my active story, because that could condition me. My own healing, my own posts, my own videos. I'm just breaking. You guys understand? I'm just reconsuming my own stuff. That they can't condition me then if it's my own stuff. Do you guys get it? All right. So unavoidable rate damage. What I call that is just think of it like there's just nonstop problems, right? Nonstop attacks. If I know right now in 5 minutes something's going to happen, I can avoid it. Do you guys understand? Well, then there's no problem. But what happens if I know that I can't? Like, no matter what I do, I'm saying that what ends up happening, guys, is because what you're going to realize once you break free is that you start limiting things. You block things. When you block things, you don't consume excessive info, suggestions, other people, right? You prevent the conditioning machines. They get desperate. They try anything they can. I'm saying whatever they can use to present things to you. If they can't use overt senses, they insert things directly into your head, which means you can't block everything. You can't prevent everything. I tried, guys. I'm telling you guys, it's not possible. You try limiting your reality to as small of a bubble as possible. I'm saying they're still going to find a way to present your negatives and your old poison that they installed in you. They don't have the same impact anymore. Remember I said, because you're healed and now you're free, so it doesn't worry you and it has no severity, but relentless enough, right? But I'm saying if you can't prevent it, now that you know, it was really frustrating for me because I always was like, there has to be a way. I have to be able to prevent it. I'm saying you can't. You can block most of them, which is what we should, but you can't prevent all of them. Which means now that you know that, that's why I'm saying we all need to reach a state of freedom. That's why you all need to learn all the things that I said earlier in the stream. Because if we're free, then we can choose how we react. That is a necessity. All right. So that's I'm going to go a little faster now, but I wanted people to understand that's the real price of freedom. Okay. So what are the solutions? I call it the thunder jump. What is the thunder jump? Think of it like all of a sudden you channel a bit of lightning. You're grounding yourself. All right. And now we're going to jump from this mask to the ripples, to take my hand, to the lion, to the star, to the phoenix, to the sun, the lion, the lamb, and then back here to my shepherd vest and Griever, my shepherd talisman, because I'm shepherd star, the star diplomat. So you jump like this. What if I, instead of saying the things that I said, I'm like, well, we have the hero of time. I'm calling this the hero of time. We have every breaking wave. We have defeating the darkness. They thought they drowned us. We'll never be muddy again. Sometimes we do have a you guiding us away. What happens when an immovable object meets a relentless healer? Dark Knight versus the Joker. The lion gods are defeating the shark aliens in that thundercloud. So begins the song of hope. I'm Xanados. People are like, most of you guys don't know what any of those things means, or you take them all overtly. That's intentional. Those things don't have meaning attached for you. Or if they do, they mean something completely different for you. Do you guys understand? What I see behind me is entirely different than what you guys see. They all have different meaning for me. And all those words that I said are memories and paths that have different meaning for me. That's what I call it the thunder jump, because you're jumping and you're talking around things, but you're jumping from multiple time periods and memories. It protects you. It scrambles your recency. You create your own little positive path, and there's nothing they can do. You want to know why, guys? Because think of it like there's two paths, okay? If I say the lost lamb, but I also say so begins the song of hope, both those things have multiple meanings for me. The song of hope one has like 4 positive associations that can go in 4 different directions, 4 different branches. A video game song, a video game story that has a positive, girl positive. When I first figured out all this knowledge, rating in video games when I was a leader and a guide, when I fought back, like you guys see, like what I'm trying to show you guys is that if you have, that's what I call the thunder jump, is that you can say it overtly, but you also have these, like think of it almost like code that you've created for yourself that has these side paths that you can use, and there's nothing they can do about it, because what you guys are going to piece together, the price of freedom, is that you start realizing and understanding and catching that they poison things. Okay, they poison intentional things in our life. That's intended. They created it. They fabricated every single thing. And once you're fully healed, what I said, guys, it's unavoidable right damage. Where you're going to realize is that they need to always have, remember I said the active story, the conditioning machine. If you don't have one, they start trying to install new poisons, new problems, because you're not meant to be fully healed. You're not meant to be fully free. We're not. Because that means that they can't control our story anymore. Those things control our stories. Do you get it? That's the only reason why they damage us and why they make sure we're not free. Because then if at any, they give us some leeway. Do you guys understand? We do all have some leeway. But if at any point they're like, we want you to go back this way, they have the exact things they can present to make you do that. So that means that you're free until you're not. But that means you're not free. We're just a lion in the habitat that they created for us. That's just how it is, guys. Each and every one of us, until you're healed and until you're free. So when you create the thunder jump method of the multiple branches, because they might, for example, just so you guys understand, they might poison. I don't know. Let's just say like a rubber band or a bracelet, right? It has a really good positives for me. I created, but I could call this now a sticky note or an interrupt. And there's nothing they can do. Do you guys see? Because what now they to destroy that, then they would have to poison interrupts. They would have to poison sticky notes. What are they going to do? Like, do you guys understand? How can they? It takes them more time to poison something than you can create something positive. So that is the thunder jump method, is that you create your multiple branches from something and you can attach it to each of these things, and you know there's something there. Like when I say Song of Hope, there's a video that I created that has a lost lamb in it. Do you guys get it? So it actually, when I say that, I'm like, yeah, today when I streamed, I talked about the Song of Hope, the Song of Hope lamb. And that leads me to the next part, is that you create a positive nudge book for yourself from your lessons and what you're experiencing day by day. Like, for example, when I play video games or on a stream, I would write about it like that. I'm like, hey, I did the Song of Hope lamb play. And I'm like, wait a minute, what does that mean? I'm like, oh yeah, I explained something like that. And I used it to explain that you can talk around things like that. You guys see? It protects us because we actually have to think. We have to focus on what did I mean when I wrote that? What did I mean when I said, hey, an immovable object meets we're destined to do this forever, Dark Knight Joker? What did I explained that topic. Like, you guys understand that You need to create on like a notepad or a notebook. You just write these things out, because then if you ever reread it, you cleanse yourself of all the bad, because it completely takes over your focus and it's just your positives. We're going a little faster. I just went too long, and that's okay. We got this. But we're going to finish up here. This, everything I did, just so people understand, is I'm breaking reliance. I'm deviating the order. I recreate a lot of my optimal paths in the past, but it's just ideally, just so you guys know, I would go past 4 hours. I'm going to stop there. It's actually a really good limit for myself. But normally I would just continue. As you guys can see, this topic right now, this last part, this part I needed to break. This is good because I can talk about this forever, because these are all the answers. These are all the tactics that I can use to fight back against the things that control our stories. But if I talk about these forever, just so people understand this is excellent, then I'm enslaved. I'm not free. Because the reason why I would do so is because I just want people to be free. And if they learn all these stuff, they can start fighting back. These are just the realities. I just want people to understand some of the things that they can do. This is really just a bonus. Just a reminder for myself how good we are, how much we know. We could literally talk about all this stuff for years, just off of one bullet point, because we know this stuff. You see, guys, I'm not reliant anymore. And you all need to break every single reliance that you have. You have to. There's no other question. You have to. If you can't deviate, you're vulnerable. So I challenge all of you to start living a life of trying new things, of exploring, of learning, of always getting your focus on something, but that there's sufficient difficulty. Because I'm telling you guys, when that's happening, that's why if you guys are still doing the same storyline that you've been doing for years, you're doomed. There's nothing you guys can do anymore because you already know the answers. Do you guys understand? Even this part, I'm like, I know all this part. See, there's not as much figuring out. Do you guys get it? You always have to be learning new, moving forward, creating new, creating difficulty, making things a little more challenging for yourself. Right now, I'm limiting myself extremely, like condensing it. This is good. I'm adding difficulty because otherwise this part would be too easy. This is how you protect ourselves from getting re-enslaved by them. This is the only way, guys. You always have to be doing this. Telling you guys, what you're going to realize is that in any, I already talked about this part, but any creation, anything, you're going to see the part where they're free, where they believe, where they created something just to challenge people to a well-designed, like it just pushed people. And then they listened to feedback and they got enslaved. And then the next part becomes so much easier, so much, everything is given. Like they give things to let them skip progress, to speed things along. It's not as challenging. There's not as much strategy, there's not as much thinking. I'm saying the reason why, guys, is because they got punished. There's needs, there's now requirements, there's time limits that got installed after they tried to create free. I mean, just think about it. My creation right now, at this part at the end, is so much more rushed because I put a limit on myself. Do you guys get it? This is excellent. This exemplifies everything that I'm talking about, guys. You can't create the way you want to anymore because you want to cover everything, and I am. But there's a time limit. Do you guys get it? You guys have to pay attention to design. So what are the problems? Other people's reactions, the ins that they can bring in. That's how they reinstall everything, guys. If right now something is presented to me, someone tells me 5 minutes left. Remember when we said about the 7-minute encounter? 5 minutes left, guys. I'm like, oh gosh. Wait, actually, you know what? I'm calm. It's okay. I'm even slowing down more. But someone else might be like, oh my gosh, we have to cover everything. Quick, hurry. All right, so what's next? What do we have to do? They can bring in problems like that, guys, because now they're being controlled. You see, all their paths, all their responses, the way they do things, why they do things is now controlled. So that means that their reactions are set. So if they then now, if something, that means something's scaring them, something's causing them fear, something's causing them worry. And if they target the things that they haven't healed, that means that if they present the correct things in the set order and they're not shielded because they rely on external, that they can get them to do essentially anything they want. And that means if someone like myself who knows how to protect myself, those people are essentially a Trojan horse that sneak in and can start being the conditioning machine to cause problems, to enslave again, to try to poison everything that they do. Think about it. They use the people around you then, because if they don't notice stuff, they become an in. I'm telling you guys, it's other people. So it's really challenging because you're like, the more I interact with other people, the more I have to be aware. They're the ins. That's how they reinstall everything. That's how you guys all get reenslaved. Telling you guys, once something is a guaranteed victory, we change. All of us. All of us. Our focus is gone. The difficulty is gone. We're not learning. We're not trying. We can become vulnerable. We're not protected. And that's why I call it ins. Like all of a sudden they can start inserting things to start trying to cause us problems and negative reminders. Because also then like you see like guaranteed victory and then we care about the result, like all this stuff like that. It just doesn't matter, guys. But I'm saying, to tie it back to the example that I said at the beginning, guys, I use the rating guild, right? The organization. For some of you guys, think about like a company. And you guys have some success. And then all of a sudden they install it through the right people that are not healed and are enslaved. And then I'm telling you guys that the moment they care again about like the external and the rankings and all this other stuff, they corrupt everyone else. They enslave people. And it all gets ruined so quickly. So where are we going to end? I call it the loop. It's the loop of no faith. Because what ends up happening is we have no faith because now we're free, we're healed, and we see everything. And when that happens, right, because we see that they're actually trying to ruin everything. We see that other people, they're using other people, how they do it. The moment they give them against a little bit of success, so they get corrupted again, and they start causing other problems, and then when you remind them of something, they start limiting people, they start causing requirements, they cause punishments, and it happens again and again. And if not, they try to poison anything we try or care about at all. Like now you see all the negatives. Do you guys understand? You see the negatives. Think of it like you see little like Minesweeper. You guys can see where all the mines are. Okay, think of that game. You guys can see all the mines. It's not fun when you always see when it's happening. So then we lose faith because of that. So when that happens, the answer is to self-create, which is what we're doing right now, this whole situation. But then when we self-create, they ruin our self-creations, our own limits. Like, hey, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to do this limit. I'm going to do that. And when they ruin that, you're like, I just can't care about anything. I'm not able to do anything. Like they just ruin anything I try. Do you guys see? So then you just don't have faith. You don't want to explore anymore. And what happens when we don't have faith is because we see all the problems. So then we try to self-create to avoid it. It's the endless loop. So what's the actual answer? Because this is the price of freedom. I realized once you're actually free, you're just calm. It actually just doesn't matter at all. Because we're free, we're healed, and we know why we're doing it. This was the answer.